Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back to the downside once again this morning in a big way. Historic moves in oil markets continue. We saw the May contract for the first time ever yesterday, not only trading in negative territory, but closing in negative territory. The June contract this morning coming in down big time as well, 5+% at the moment, struggling around that $15 area at this point. We had a little bit of support come in around $16. That has given up in the last little bit. So lots to get to this morning as far as energy markets are concerned. The historic move down in oil prices, obviously due to the coronavirus, massive oversupply. We had some of the tanker companies popping back to the upside yesterday. A lot of people looking to tanker ships to come up with some sort of storage that will deal with some of this oversupply. Beyond Meat shares, big time in positive territory so far in the pre-market on news that Starbucks will add their products in China. On the data front this morning, existing U.S. home sales for March coming up at 10 o'clock. We had Asian markets trading lower overnight. Europe is open, also trading to the downside. It's Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. A look at North American stock futures to start the morning. I'll focus your attention to the bottom of that list, 23% right now. That is, in fact, the June contract trading for crude oil, 23% to the downside this morning. So the massive sell-off in crude markets continuing. Everything else in negative territory. You can see the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, even the TSX futures here in Toronto, 2.5% to the downside. Bitcoin is red once again. Gold also under pressure so far this morning. It's been a wild ride, to say the least, for energy markets. We have lots to get to this morning. Let's jump right into things here. We will start things off, I guess, guys, by talking a little bit about this oil. I mean, wow. We sat here at the desk yesterday and watched the May contract go negative and then continue into negative territory. Ends up closing in negative territory for the first time ever. And now here we are, June, big time negativity this morning.
Yeah, what wild and unbelievable markets that we're seeing. You see something historic every day in these markets. To see it go negative was truly amazing. I mean, the price action, USO's actually halted. Sean just put in the chat there. I was saying, we just saw a tweet from downtown Josh Brown, 30% of June oil futures contracts will be held by USO retailers, investors just piling into this apparently. So look, I mean, obviously there's going to be another day driven by energy. There's no way around it. Sean, I'm going to throw the numbers up here, and I guess I should not be surprised that number one on the board is going to be Amex. 43,000 someone pulled out of there. That's, of course, where USO does trade. London actually comes through 36,000. You see the CME there, 31,000. New York, 29,000. NASDAQ, 13,000. So bigger numbers than we saw the last couple of days. Obviously a fantastic opportunity. Wowzers, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I have the USO chart up here right now. Obviously, it is halted here, 298. You're down 20% right now. This is what a halted level 2 looks like on our board. And yeah, not a good one for sure. So we'll see. That's NYSE American USO. Look, there's lots of different names you can trade here as far as the oil patch is concerned. And my favorite from yesterday and from always is XOM. So we'll look at that. I see some talk in the chat about people caught long on XOM and whatnot. Yeah, sorry about that. But XOM didn't get hit that much yesterday, guys. But today we're down 3%. You know, the market's down 2%. The equities in the oil space aren't actually that bad. I mean, a lot of this is going to come from them where they came from. XOM was $32. It went all the way to 43, 44. So back to 39 isn't that bad. But yeah, it should be a fun ride, guys. Welcome to the show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We're here every day. We're going to break down a few trades for you coming up very soon, Brendan.
All right, guys, we'll jump into things. Just watching this oil just plummeting. Can't get out of its own way right now. We're at $14.30 for the June contract for crude oil. So, wow, pretty amazing stuff. Let's shift over to Valeria, and we'll say good morning to her.
Hello everyone and welcome to the live trading show. I wish you all a great trading day and hopefully we'll make it even better. Guys, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for our channel. If you're watching us from Facebook, like and share our video. And also if you're looking for better chat, join us on YouTube. Our YouTube chat is cool, right guys? We're always talking there and I encourage you to ask us more questions, share your trades and just write whatever you want. We'll be talking with you. I'll see you later. Back to traders.
All right, guys, lots to get to this morning. We're going to check in with our good friend Arun and have a look at the NASDAQ futures this morning, see how he is going to approach this trading day. Obviously, primarily a futures trader focused on the futures markets. Arun, I mean, this is pretty amazing stuff we're seeing in crude oil. Good to have you back on the show, obviously, after stepping in for Neil last week. What do we think of this crude oil move to the downside here? I mean, are you going to even touch this thing today?
No, it's so crazy that I don't even know what to make of it. The movement is there. It's obviously great to see it on a chart, but then when you actually step in to make trades, it's very hard to decipher where the levels are. So I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to move away from the NASDAQ contract and into the S&P 500 contract, because right now the S&P 500 is down 2%, where the NASDAQ's down 1%. So there's a massive discrepancy of almost just over about 1%. Just between the two contracts themselves. So you know what? That's telling me that the financials and energy is pulling one direction and tech is actually floating it up. So I'm going to move to the weaker one, which is the ES for today.
It's interesting you make that comment. We've seen on the way back up for the overall market, it's typically led by the tech stocks. So focusing a little bit back on the weak side of things, we'll shift over to the ES. What are you looking at today?
Okay, so I mean, there's still sell pressure off the open. I was thinking maybe we can catch a bid here around this 60 area. When I sent you charts earlier, the market was trading around 2760 on the ES. Now it's trading 2753. My level for support is still 2740, but I'm not seeing enough buying to want to try to take a long in front of it. So 2740 is a support. If I can find a long, I will find a long, but I'm not looking for one right now. 2815 is the top end first line of resistance, and 2835 is the second line of resistance, as you can see in the charts. I got four levels up, right? 2885, 2865, 2835, and 2815 as levels above us, 2740 as the first level below, and 2695 as the second level below. So for now, I'm just kind of waiting it out. I want to see what more we do in front of this 2740, see if we can catch a bid. If we can't, that's perfectly fine. I'm not rushing into any trades right now.
After the move off of the lows that we put in back in March, we've been in this kind of tight little channel, kind of grinding back to the upside. We're right at those levels right now. So important support coming into play, I think, this morning right off the bat. Obviously, the overall market is going to be heavily tied to oil and some of the energy names coming into play. Will you be watching any of the actual energy names to kind of get a feel for how weak they are versus the overall market?
This is something I tapped into last week, which was more, I'm going to go towards the sector ETFs than the individual names. So for me, XLE will be the first one I'll look to get a broad gauge on what the oil market's doing. XLE would for energy and XLF for financials. So I don't want to get too much into the actual names themselves because it's a relative thing, right? Between the names, some are stronger, some are weaker. So I'd rather just get a sector view on the entire thing when I decide to make a trade.
So we're coming into support, as you mentioned. What do we need to see to kind of give you a little bit of confidence on the long side today?
I mean, right now it's their pressure. I'm seeing a lot of sell pressure off the top, right? I thought maybe we can catch something around 2760. No, seems like we are pressing down, at least going into the open. We might bounce right off the open, who knows? But for now, I'd like to see at least some movement above 2770 just to catch maybe some. Like if we can get above 2770, there's a real possibility that we have declared some buying in front of that 2740, which then allows for me to kind of look for some longs more loosely, I guess. Right now, though, there's not enough. There's a lot of sell pressure around the 2760 area. I'm not going to step in just yet.
It was interesting. I was reading an article yesterday talking about the lack of importance for this earnings season when it comes to the overall market moves. Obviously, more earnings out this morning. We're going to touch on a few in a couple minutes here. Are you seeing that correlation? I mean, some of the earnings reports that have come out really not blowing stocks out of the water. Movement has been kind of muted both directions. So not seeing that typical positive or negative correlation between the overall market and earnings this season?
Yeah, my thing with earnings, especially this season right now, is because the whole coronavirus situation started towards the end of earnings for our first quarter. Yeah, I don't know how much it reflects in the actual earnings report. What I'm more curious about is in the guidances of these earnings, right? Because that's when companies start pulling full year guidances down, that's when you're going to start to see the market really take effect, right? Because that's pretty much what the market is, a forward ratio of what the future value could be, right? So for me, I'm more curious about the guidances than I do care for the earnings, right? So I think when you start to see the big tech heavyweights, Microsofts, the Amazons, the Googles, the Apples, when those numbers start coming out, and not necessarily numbers, but the earnings guidances start coming out, that's the more curious thing for me. And I'm very curious to see what those are going to be like.
Great stuff, Arun. As always, good information. We'll let you get back to the screens. Best of luck today. We'll speak to you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brennan.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at the ES this morning. Arun, typically kind of following the tech stocks. They've been leading, as we mentioned, the market on the way back higher. Now seeing a little bit of weakness come in. So Arun shifting gears a little bit back to the ES contract today. Let's get into some individual names moving around in the pre-market. The one that jumped off the page to me when I sat down this morning was Beyond Meat, up more than 12%, even with the overall weakness in the market and the futures coming in this morning. 12%, in fact, to the upside for Beyond Meat after Starbucks said they're going to carry both the Beyond Beef and Omni Pork products in their China stores. Guys, we haven't really had a look at Beyond Meat on the show for quite some time, but a nice look here this morning, guys. 12%, or I guess 11.8 now. To the upside.
Yeah, to be exact, 11.8. Yeah, look, Beyond Meat's going to be a good name to trade. We've done that for a while, but like Brendan said, we haven't traded it in a while. But it's a mover, and yeah, good news there from Starbucks coming through. Obviously, whenever you get a chance to play with the big boys, we saw Beyond Meat go crazy when they announced that they were going to be in McDonald's, and then here with QSR, which is Tim Hortons and Burger King and whatnot. And then you go to the upside now, so $78. We touch up to 90. It's kind of important that you kind of break this thing down into a little bit more of a time frame here. So if you go back to the 10-minute chart here, look how high up we are, guys. Beyond Meat touched 75, 78. Now we bump all the way up here. I just think it's a little lofty right now, considering that there's no one out to spend money at Starbucks. Grocery stores and whatnot are a little thin right now. So I'm not in love with the Beyond Meat play at this level. I don't know what their production capacity is like right now, if they're back working, things like that. So Beyond Meat back up to $88, but you could see it's been a great run up. So I wonder if some of this news may be already potentially baked in. If we go down to a 1-minute chart and just look at today, though, I mean, I don't know, the bottom's $87. If you break through 87, I love that short there. Or if I'm wrong and the news is right, it's 91. So 87 short side, 91 to the break, Neil. I don't know. Yeah,
the only other level I had there was 85 looking at it. And when you talk about it being a little bit frothy, big breakout when you look at the daily chart past this $75 area, and then it retested it literally just a couple of days ago on that breakout. So to be, for 13, 14 bucks above that price already, that's a good 17% or so. I like that 85. If you get an 87 break, like you mentioned, Sean, I think there's $2 to your next level right there. So that could be a risk reward. Beyond Meat is not a stock that I love to trade off of the open. I mentioned one of you guys there, you're asking about Watt. I actually jumped into this one at 257. We'll track it just like these ones when we get these pullbacks.
All right, guys, let's go over to Coca-Cola, the next one moving around in the pre-market. Not a huge move, but worth mentioning here. The beverage maker reported a fifth straight quarterly report that beat expectations. Net revenue, though, fell 1% to $8.6 billion versus $8.28 billion expected. They did beat on the per share side of things as well. They did, however, withdraw their full year forecast. So a little bit of a mixed report, I guess you could say, for KO today. We are negative now. Not a heck of a lot of volume here, guys.
No, I mean, 186,000 shares seems pretty low to me. So nothing really happening on the daily chart, guys. We topped up at $48 yesterday. I don't think we're going to get there today with that kind of a report. But we are down less than the market, right? The market's down 1.8%. We got this one down 0.8. So the beta to the market's a little stronger there. I don't love this name, Coke, but I'll show you a level here on a daily chart, at least $45 right here come through. It's back all the way back to March. March of last year. You had some $45 bounce throughs here. You tick down to 45.61, 45, this kind of level right here on the daily chart. So we could break that 45.50. So we break through 45.50. I like the short, and I think we'll take it. But again, not right off the open, but I like the 45.50 level if we can get there.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a great look when you look at this little move to the downside. It was consolidating about a 3-cent range, and now you're breaking below it. I was looking at a pop up to even be looking at shorting Coca-Cola. Obviously, people aren't going out, man. Like, their volumes were down like 25%, and half of their business is done for people leaving their homes, going to restaurants and stadiums. And even when things come back, there could be a drain on that. So for me, I do like the opportunity, even if it's going to be on a pullback, and that's going to be somewhere in the 47 range, 46.90 to 47. I was looking at a target range. If there's a snap off the open, I'll probably try it at least once.
All right, guys, let's go to energy stocks. We talked about a couple of them there off the top of the show, but we'll dig into a few here. Obviously going to be important, I think, to mention that we need to be watching the futures today, as this group will probably move along with the futures. I just had a look at XOM. I mean, we can have a look at Oxy. I even noticed Schlumberger down significantly in the pre-market. Marathon also under pressure, all down about 5% at this point. But XOM, guys, if you want to have a look at that one, really getting hit at this point.
Yeah, well, here, I mean, I have the oil chart up right now, and it looks like it might be working. I cleared the cache on my data here, so we may have something good. 14.45. Yeah, look at this, guys. The current contract down 30% right now from yesterday. We closed yesterday around $21. So with that being said, get ready to fill up your tanks. XOM, big move down or up to $40 right now. Was not really expecting that at all. So although oil continues to get demolished here, XOM making a move up. So very strange to me. I love trading this name. Not really sure why we're heading northbound. I had 39.50 written down here as a pretty golden level, even 39 if you take a daily chart back. So I'm not really sure what this little move up here in XOM is. That's basically straight up 50 cents there. Not sure. We're at 500,000 shares today. I know Neil likes to look at Oxy, but let me just quickly see. Did we just get a similar? Yeah. So Neil, I don't know. I mean, a couple of these oil names heading northbound.
It's so weird for me because I'm looking at Oxy, and the levels I'm confident with are you gotta be like 50, 60 cents higher, and it was the first thing I looked at yesterday, and I jumped into a trade too early and it ended up burning me. Or if we've been patient and waited for any kind of resistance, it was a fantastic short, and I can kind of show you guys what that was gonna look like off of the open. It was just such a ridiculous move to the upside. Not ridiculous, but breaking through that pre-market range, and all you had to do was wait for a double top to get made later on and retrace through 13. USO halted here at 849. It's just sort of worth noting that there was, oddly enough, a bump up there in Oxy. I'm pretty sure the same thing in XOM. So look, I really do feel like patience is going to be it for me with this name. I'm going to allow it the opportunity to move into a price range that I'm more comfortable shorting it. I don't think you have to force trades in energy. There are plenty of opportunities. We were sitting down trading in the afternoon. I think we all saw that there were ample opportunities as long as you're patient.
All right, guys, let's go to the tanker group, a name or group, I should say, that we don't really look at ever. But oil tankers over the past couple of days have gotten a nice little bid and have started moving back to the upside as people look for, or companies look for, places to store this crude oil during this oversupply period that we're going through. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them here. TNP, FRO, TK, NAT was one we looked at yesterday, NAT, and then STNG. That entire group up about 5% in the pre-market as a group. I mean, take your pick, guys. Let's have a look at maybe TK or TNP. They were moving around significantly as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only one that I'm very familiar with, to be perfectly honest, was Frontline. And that one, you talk about the 3-4% that you're up. Some of these names were up even more than that. Frontline went from like $9 a few days ago, and now it's trading at 11. So, you can throw up a TK. I just feel like anything in these spaces, you want to go with what's going to give you the best trading opportunity. And TK, yes, it's significantly stronger today than Frontline, but it's done 500,000 shares in the pre-market, and it's a $4 stock. So I don't know that that's going to be the first place to jump into. You're still getting oil futures destroyed. You're getting a bit of a pullback into what was the top end of the pre-market range, and that would seem like it'd be good support at 470 or so when you have a look at TK. It's probably a space where I'm not going to consider gap up retracement plays in energy. It's just that I'm not going to apply some kind of a structure of a trade to something I've never really seen it in. So for me, it's going to be trying to find the momentum and just trying to play the trend once it gets established, not going to the old textbook that works on small caps and on biopharma. I've never applied it to this space. I'm not going to try.
I like FRO. I mean, great analysis there. We're talking about a few different names here. FRO, the reason why I'm all over this one and I like it is because of the volume. So Neil, you hit that one on the head there. Frontline, we do know this stock a little bit. So I like the volume here, and I actually like it taking out the high here, 1130, 1134. So we have 1128 on our platform here as the high. So look, if it wants to go through, I think you got a lot of momentum through this name. You know, USO is halted here. They're not issuing any new shares about, so that the news already came out there, so we'll wait for USO to come through, but 1128, I do like FRO breaking 1128 to the high side, guys.
All right, guys, if you're joining us for the first time, worth mentioning, all the stocks that we talk about in the morning, you can find at the bottom of the screen there in the ticker. So that's not a generic ticker. These are the stocks that we're looking at that have news on the day. So if you're wondering about some of the individual names that we might look at throughout the show, have a look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. I want to make sure we get to IBM here, guys, another earnings name. IBM significantly lower, albeit on, not a lot of volume here. They withdrew their guidance for the remainder of 2020. They also posted lower revenue for the latest quarter. Per share earnings, though, did beat, coming in about 4 cents above estimates, but big move down here this morning for IBM.
Yeah, 114. I mean, 5%. You know what? I mean, the market's 2. This is 5. IBM's been a problem for a while. They never got going when big tech got going, and now you're going to see it once we have some bad sort of reports here. That's what's going to happen. During during Microsoft and Apple and this huge run in tech, this is what IBM was doing. Basically nothing, just bouncing around. IBM's already ticked down here back last December, 2 Decembers ago, and that was the monster down movements in IBM. And I looked at that as a nice little bottom, 107, 108. I think we can get there even today, man, 114. This is where we're at. This is that little level break right here. We'll talk some more about support and resistance coming up on an educational platform that we're going to be releasing soon, but 114.75. Look at this, guys. We tick down here, 113, 114. These are these little wicks that we're looking at here. Maybe I could zoom in and show you guys just a little bit better. Yeah, here we go. 113 is this little level. We bounced off there March 12th. We bounced off again the 26th, 30th, so on and so forth. I don't need to keep going. I like the 113 level. If we breach that, look for downside. I mean, if it can't hold these little tops, top, then 113 is the break on IBM. That's what I'll be looking for.
Yeah, I actually like that that entire dollar range, 113 to 114. I think even if you catch like a failed break on 113, if it goes maybe like 20, 30 cents or so and comes back in, there could be a shorting opportunity. The initial shorts might get flushed out. Who knows? But IBM, it's done 150,000 shares. That's why I'm open to some different types of ideas as to how to enter, depending on how much liquidity we do have.
Not a lot of news, guys, this morning in the vaccine world or COVID-19 related stocks, but Moderna, I think worth mentioning, was gapping higher earlier in the morning. Just had a look. It has come off significantly. Big move up yesterday. This thing has been very, very strong. One of the names that has said that they said last week that they're looking at a vaccine, getting it to the public by early 2021. So Moderna here, mRNA, still in positive territory, but looks like it's already breaking to the downside. This thing did all kinds of volume yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, kind of strong is a little bit of an understatement if you want to have a look at this one on the daily chart. It's been a massive breakout territory since about 37.50, and from there it's about a 50% move to the upside. This is your first sort of, I guess, calm pre-market action. So you have the high from yesterday at 55, and we're holding below that, which kind of signals a bit of a pullback opportunity. Normally for me, it's a wilder stock, so you're going to have to exchange your expectations when it comes to how far you have to let it go against you. For a $50 name, you're looking at $2, $3, $4, $5 that it does have within it. I do like the break to the downside. I need to see it trade, probably at least testing yesterday's close. Right now we're about, looking at about $1 away from that at 52.50. 51.70 was previous close. I'd like to see it test that one before I'm too interested in the short. Then you're sort of using these highs as a bit of a resistance point.
I see some questions here about, I think it was Richard there. I told him FRO here, but you made a good point there, Neil. USO, I mean, 30 million shares and going nuts right now. So this may be one to look at here if you guys are looking to hit some home runs. Watch the price action on USO. You can check the news out. Brendan will be talking about that here, but they were halted. They're not going to be issuing any new baskets or shares. So we're going to find out exactly what that means. But USO, I'm kind of surprised at what's happening right now. It's not moving around too crazy, but the volume obviously very intense here, guys.
Yeah, oil markets also doing some significant volume, obviously, at this point this morning as well. Let's go to Philip Morris here, guys. One more before we get things going this morning. Another earnings name. They're down about 5% or a little bit more, actually, at this point. After reporting results that beat estimates, the company said tobacco shipments, though, were down about 1.5%. They also withdrew full year guidance. Not a lot of volume, obviously. Yeah, 6.8% now. Not a lot of volume here in the pre-market, but this one was a little bit late to get going this morning to the downside, so possibly some room to go still.
Yeah, $72 right now? Yeah, wow, down 7%.
The volume, man.
I guess I got it. Yeah, because it's a late go here, I didn't really do too much work on this one because I thought that it was only down like $1. But yeah, down to $71, $72. What does a daily chart look like on this thing? So yeah, you still have a little ways to go. Not really too much in love with this thing. I love $70 even. Neil, have you done any work on this name?
I literally only had a level of resistance at the top there in case it made a bounce, and that was basically it. I didn't think it was going to be too active. It hadn't done any volume. Given the fact it's like 4 minutes to go and we're staring at 33,000 in volume with a spread here and not a lot of liquidity, this screams allow the opening range to get made. I mean, all it would take is you see this little move down here, $3. Like one buyer could come in that's not even that big and take this back $2 or $3. So I'm not sure what you do with that except for allow this one to open up. We have plenty of things to look at right now, and one of which, Brendan, you're going to talk about right now at the big board.
Yeah, I was wondering if my chart was right, but it is. Yeah, a little small cap here, SCYX, up or was up, now negative, has gone negative here through that dollar mark. I mean, this thing was a great opportunity up here at 125. They announced a new yeast infection treatment that has been given FDA approval. So a nice look for SCYX. Again, we have gone negative here, but if we get anywhere relatively close to 120 or 125, should give you an opportunity. Worth mentioning, guys, Charlie Cassis, Tim Riley coming through at 11:50 this morning from the New York Stock Exchange. They're on the operational side of things at the NYSE, so really excited to talk to them. We'll find out how they've been dealing on an operational side of things down at the New York Stock Exchange, guys. 11:50. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a fantastic opportunity. Look, how many times are you going to get the opportunity to sit here and listen to the experts to understand market structure? This is like the Matrix, man. Like if you don't want to understand the rules of the game and how the market works, I don't know how you expect to be successful and be able to beat it. These are the tools that you're working with. You control what you can, and knowledge is certainly something you guys can control. I talked about Watt there. We only have 2 minutes to go here, Sean. This one actually is ripping off, and Arun did a fantastic job, but it's actually starting to test back to that 270. So I've been taking profits. We were able to take, a 5-cent move, a 10-cent move, a 15-cent move, and now I have a reload here at 261, but I can't let 270 go here. I don't want to have this one run too far against me before the open. You don't want to dig in too hard before 9:30 there, which is only a couple of minutes away.
Yeah, no, I just canceled my order. I'm going to take only a couple shares here on FRO, not the thousands or anything like that. I don't want to get involved before the open, but FRO looks like we're going to take out that 1134 top or so. So I already have the order in. I may get into this one in the next minute or so. I don't like taking pre-market trades, but FRO, it looks like we'll get in there if it just breaks through right now, 1135. We're going to be punching long, so let's wait to see what FRO does. Remember, it's on NYSE, so you do have some market on open and balance orders.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you throw that one up there?
What, the imbalance locator? Yeah, I have
there it is.
I have the imbalance locator right now, guys, and FRO is right here. It's 500,000 to buy, so that's probably creating some of this buy action into the open. So making me a little nervous right now going long. We do have CCL as a sell, Procter & Gamble also as a sell, and NAT up here, $5.51, doing 780,000 shares. But right now, FRO back down to 1125, so watch out. Looks like we'll try to take that out off the open, 1135 or so. I'm not in yet. Here it comes right down the south side.
Yeah, we talked about talked about a lot of spaces. I don't think we mentioned the airlines here. Delta, I'm watching. It's down 1.5%. It just got a bump off 23 even with the futures here. It's trying to come up a little bit on the ES. Arun talked about 27.40. Maybe you get some kind of a bump. The level I was watching to see if we can retake 23 off of the open. That could be an interesting sell point. Just watch that pre-market high. Only about 20 seconds to go till the open. A lot of names to watch. Watt, FRO, USO, anything oil-related, XOM. We're also looking at a little bit of Oxy as well. Randy does a little bit of everything. He's going to be on the bell. Today, we will ring it on time and not early.
There we go.
There he is, giving the thumbs up. He's locked and loaded in. Whoa. Delta already making a test of that 23 even as we have 2-1. Market is open. That was a flush on Delta.
All right, there we go.
Delta's
Yeah, so
still going there.
Now we can hear ourselves think a little bit. Okay, Coke is now open, looking at that 45.50, guys, straight in the face. Let's see if we're going to break that one. FRO not breaking, but we're waiting for Coke to see what it does through 45.50 here, guys. Yeah,
Delta goes from 23.30 and then immediately triggers me in on a 23 break. So I talk about not always wanting to get in right away and not ideal situation, picking it right at the bottom of that little trigger off the open. So I'm going to have a tighter stop.
Huge winner here,
23.15.
Neil, sorry to interrupt on a monster winner right now, guys. 45.50 short on Coke, and we have shares, guys. So here we go. Coke to the downside. Instant dollar winner right there, guys. Explode the money. Coke, we are now short. 45.50 on Coke. Heading to the downside, guys. We just got some out. Get out now as it's flushing, guys. Let's go.
And a quick look at what's happening in crude. We crossed the 15 mark. We're 30% to the downside. I got USO moving to the downside as well. Oxy, this one just got crushed off the open through $12. It's going to have to be a retrace play. That was the level that we're looking at, was 12 even. And again, just like Delta, moving right away to the downside.
Yeah, we're getting out of some Coke here. That's the only thing we have on right now is KO, and we just crushed it. So nice little trade there, breaking through 45.50. We gave that one. Bye-bye, Coke. Let's see if we can't get dollar. Look at all these outs, guys. It crashed so fast there that we had to regroup here on Coke, but still heading southbound. Nice little dollar winner to start the day. Let's check out on XOM right now. Come on, charts. Come on. There we go. XOM 39. Okay, the level we wrote down, 39.50. Let's see if we can crack 39.50 down here on XOM. Nice little pullback down in. I wish we understood why it made that move up.
Oh,
here we
come
crashing, guys.
Beyond Meat came down from 88 right to what number? We said 85.20. It actually went to 85 even and bounced. So I'm going to look for that retracement short idea, working back into that 85 range. That was the level that we wanted to test. But unfortunately, got to make sure we have some locates on Beyond Meat. Let's see if we can't get those. I just triggered into that Watt, which is taking the top off. So first short good. Now it's trying to test that top. So we'll flush down a toilet and give a cry for that name, guys. But I'm trying to get these locates. I want to be shorting in front of 88 on that Beyond Meat, looking for that 85 target again.
We are long in FRO here. We're long at 36. That's the level it's breaking. This is the day's high. So we are long some FRO here. And let's just see where we want to go. I'm waiting for in the 40s here to get some out of this one. Right here. Come on, FRO. We gave this one to, I know Neil and I both talking about this one. I'm now long 36 here. And here we go. Let's see if this one can't keep going. FRO Frontier Limited. So front line. So we're going to see if this one can't keep going to the north side here. Nice little win to start the day. Booyah. 2 for 2 and pretty huge here, guys. Let's go.
We like that Moderna off of that top. And we talked about this one testing that 54. Yesterday's high of 55. It just shot up at the open and failed to get to that high. 54.50. So it's going to be a nice test again at 55 even. You're probably going to break through. Watt just halted to the upside. So thank goodness we took that one off when it broke the pre-market high. So first short was fantastic. Second short, we'll take a hit on it. But I'm looking squarely at Moderna, looking to test that 55. 54.50 is the current high. Those are your two outs if you want to try any kind of a short. Otherwise, it's another breakout long in this name.
Yeah, exactly. No mistakes yet for me here. We are long FRO, guys. I gave this one to you. You guys wanted some small cap winners, some big moves. Gave this one to you. There it is. It's 15, 20 cents depending on where you got it. We're long right here at 35. We just took some about 49s, 48s. Looks like, bang, we're going to break 11.50 right here. So here goes FRO to the moon. You want chicken dinner winners. There you go. Small cap cap name du jour right here. Nice little move. Easy trade here for us. FRO to the top side. We're already getting out on that one. We're huge today already. Here's Coke. We're $1 plus in the money on this one, and we only have 20% left, but we destroyed KO, and we destroyed. Here we go. FRO, guys. This is $11 name. Here's 20 plus cents. Let's go, Brendan.
PayPal, guys. Nice look to start the day here for PYPL, up about 0.6%. Coming up to 113. Deutsche Bank with an upgrade on PayPal today. So very strong off the open so far, guys.
Good look there. And Philip Morris, I'm going to take my shot here short. I was mentioning to you guys, and I'll talk about this one from time to time. TIF between 128 and 128.50 is a buy for me. I've already started that one today, and it's in the money. We'll cover that one. It's a little bit of a different name, but I got Philip Morris turning right around here at that 75 mark. So it's headed back southbound as the futures roll over. That's going to be indicated short for me. I'm starting it here in front of that 74. I like this little bit of a turnaround. You can now work it off of the pre-market, not the pre-market high, but it was right before the open. We're on light volume, of course, 75.50. And I talked about why I didn't want to short it right away, and it's because the spread was just so gigantic and the volume was so low. So now that it's opened up and made a bit of a range, we'll take a shot here, shorting Philip Morris in front of 75.50. A little bit safer of a play than trying it in the pre-market.
Yeah, I definitely like the Philip Morris short for sure. I had Netflix longs written down because we were bumping up to all-time highs again at 450. The all-time high I wrote down 449.52. So we get close to that before fading back in. But Netflix, not a horrible long if there's one that you liked in that space. Good little look there. Beyond Meat dropping all the way to 85. Good call, Neil. All the way back to 90 and change. Let's see if Beyond Meat can take out this 91.
Need those locates. Yeah, so we need those locates on Beyond Meat. It's a fantastic short, but you've got to be prepared. It's coming back into that 90 range, and it's going to give you a test of this 91 in the pre-market, which was a nice level. And that's that setup that I love on those little pullback trades when it's up 12 or 13%. So it is what it is. We can't get them right now, but let's go to Brendan and see if we can't get those locates.
A name we looked at quite often, guys, when the outbreak first started. INO, Inovio Pharmaceuticals here, 7.25%. There was a class action lawsuit that was launched about a month ago that seems to have been resolved in their favor. So 6.5% here for INO today, guys.
Okay. XOM coming back down. So we're getting out of FRO. We're almost out of that one for a big, nice little win there on FRO. So we'll floss that one off for sure. And we're so light on Coke. Coke coming all the way back. We've dumped this one, guys. We have like 5% of our position left on Coke. We're still short 45.50. We'll put a bid out to get out at that level, but it's a win-win for us today, big time on all of these names. So we'll just keep looking. I do like XOM to the short side. If it does break through 39.50, we've bounced off there a couple times. This is that bottom 39.50. So let's watch out. Oil right now, CLM 20 down 5, down 28%, down almost $6. 14.67 a contract.
Sean, I just hit the timber action on Moderna there, testing the bottom. So you got a 52, 20-ish bottom here, pre-market low, and since the open, it's been the low. And we're about 60 cents in the money looking to test it. It's one of those situations where if it breaks it, we could open up those floodgates. I mentioned to you guys earlier that look what's happened. It's been a 50% move to the upside in just a few days. Any kind of retracement could get very, very interesting and give you some big wins. So that one's working out for us. That Philip Morris is basically flat. We're 74.63 in front of that 75.50 area, and that's basically trading at that price. So a couple of shorts on. I told you guys about TIF. We're already taking some profits on that when we like it. I'm going to jump to IBM for a quick minute here. That one fell, tested that 113 break, and then came back into that target range short that we're talking about. So that 113 to 114 pocket, that's where I wanted to get in. That's what we're going to do. Brendan, what do you got?
Big crazy mover from yesterday. CYCC down 51% today. This is an offering, guys, if you're wondering, down here at 410. Big share offering. So huge move up yesterday on positive news. All the way back down and then some today, guys.
Okay, FRO now, again, we have about 10% of this trade left after getting all the way out at 11.55. It's coming down to VWAP. We're going to drop this one if it breaks through 11.25. That's FRO. Our Coke still keeps going down. We're waiting to get some out here near $45. Look at the market, puke city right now. The market just continues to go downside. So we'll hit a down arrow here. We did get up as high as 27.70. Now we're fading back down. So that bears out pretty good for this Coke short. Like I said, I'm not going to drop this till until it turns into a losing trade. But we are pretty big on that one. XOM.
I'm going to hit that disco ball for you, Sean. Philip Morris starting to work out here. We just took some shares off when it broke through 74 even. We just got it out at 84. So that's going to be a nice win. Our last entry was at 75 even. But keep in mind, we got a blended price at 74.60. That's about an 80-cent win on the first half. I'm looking for a further flush, retesting those lows. If the market dies, this is going to be a spicy meatball. I also have IBM short that we just talked about here. We'll get back into that 113 to 114 pocket. What's my price? 113.49. Why? Because we mentioned that dollar range that we liked. So we got that midpoint. Every now and then it works out to plan. Now we're retesting that 113 even as the market starts to flush. We'll get to Watt in just a minute here as we manage some of these orders, but Watt opened back up to the north side, so it's continuing to look very, very strong. My last short here, Moderna, it tests the bottom there at 52 with the market sliding. It seems like it's always a relatively strong name. That's continuing here today. I would have thought we'd break through the bottom on Moderna there. It did not. We're still in the money, but not by a lot. I'm going to actually move my stop from all the way up at that 54. I'm going to slide this one down and move it to about this top here at 53.50. I don't like the strength that I'm kind of seeing here. Moderna failing to flush there. Brennan, what do you got?
On that Watt, they had a wireless charging transmitter approved by the FCC for use, so that's the news on that one. VXRT here, 26%, guys. We're right at $3. Interesting level for this one. They reported positive preclinical trial on their COVID-19 vaccine, guys.
COVID vaccine, you say? That's always a good thing. Apple here, you want a spicy meatball? Let's wait to see if we can break through this bottom 271.60 here coming through on this market move down. We are going to see what it does at 27.50. Arun talked about the ES. This is what we're looking at right now. 27.50. We've bounced off there. No surprise. If we can break below 27.47, look out. But we will wait to see what the futures want to do. Great out on our last bit here of Coke. We take that out 45 even basically there as we come down and get out of that one, and now we're getting back to the upside. So we'll be out of Coke and we'll be flat here. 2 for 2. Two pretty decent trades on board that we've had so far. Coke was a monster one and basically a dollar winner right off the bat there. We took it out for about 40 or 50 cent average win there, but we'll watch it and see what's happening. Boeing is another name that's getting going here finally. 140 to the downside now. You do protect this downside of 137. We're now at 140 and trying to make actually a move back up now. Boeing looking to break, and it just did break that pre-market level of 139.39. So let's wait to see if Boeing can take out the top here. What is this exact top? 140, 140.25 or so. Let's take Boeing long if it can break through there. Maybe there's some good news coming on this one. We got to watch out for this market.
Watt coming down in a hurry here. You had that halt through 330 and then a reopen testing 380. Now back below that 330 mark. That's usually what I'm looking for, but it's got to consolidate a little bit. If it can do that, anything below that 330 range, maybe using 350 as a top, that'll be interesting to me. But it's wild action so far that we're going to try and stay away from. I'm going to update the position board so you guys can see exactly what I'm working with. We have a few positions on right now, so we'll throw it up here. I do have the IBM short. We talked about that 113 range to 114. We're right in the smack dab in the middle. Moderna's coming back, and this is why I moved my stop and slid it up. We took profit on the first little bit, and now we're trying to think about tightening that stop, as it worked in the money, but it's been relatively strong. PM, that's Philip Morris. 75 was my last entry. We already took 80 cents on the first half, and I gave you guys TIF. We've already taken half out. We're going to reload every time it dips into the 128 to 128.50 range. That's Tiffany's.
Tiffany's is a good one for sure. Weed Batman's going to be back in the building here as we look at CGC. So anybody wants to look at some Canopy here, I think it's not a bad little break here. 1535, 1536. Let's see if we can't run to 1550. CGC up now 1% today. We did see some movers yesterday, so we are going to take this Canopy play a little bit to the long side there. Okay, Boeing now breaks 140.25. That's our price. We're actually in at 140.33, so a little bit of a slip there, breaking through. Whatever, that's a good one. We'll pay that price all day. So 140.33 now long on Boeing, and let's see. I have a target area. I mean, if we can get all the way back to close yesterday, that'd be pretty nice. 143 and change. You can use your VWAP as you're out here. 139. So I think this is worth it, guys. Boeing to the long side right now. 140.33 for this guy. As right now it's moving about 20 pennies or so in the money. Let's see where we can go high side here on Boeing and talk about really getting out here 141-ish for the first half, and then maybe 142 and change for the second.
Yeah, I talked about how strong Moderna can be, and for me, that 54 that we slid to here, not giving it to the actual high of 54.50, that looks like it's going to be a decent decision here. Every once in a while, you do get that little top wick, and we took the rest of our shares in front of that 54. I really do think we're going to have to temper expectations. 53.34 is now our price. I feel like it might not be that monster winner that we're hoping for, but we can only lose about 60 cents to 80 here, maybe a little bit more depending on slippage. And given how much upside Moderna has on a pullback, I think that's going to be well worth it. I'm still tracking WAD. It's at 330, right in that target range where I wanted consolidation to happen. Just need to have a little bit more weakness be shown, and then we'll look for that retracement short that we've always been talking about. We'll go back to Philip Morris, of course, one that I didn't think we'd be too heavily on here, and it looks like our profit taking down at 73.80 was a good call. It's now going to retest this 75 area. 75.50 is our out. I think we can reload one time in between 75 and that 75.25 mark. So we'll take another shot at this one to add back in and get maybe a bigger retracement to that 71.50 low. Ideally, that's the kind of push. We want to see it retest that bottom, especially if the futures hang around Arun's mark of 27.40 on the ES.
Yeah, the futures look like they may. Well, now we're at 27.60, so we're going to see here. Okay, we did get long into CGC here, so here we go. Let's wait to see. Of course, it breaks this 36. We get 36s, so 36, a nice little price here. I'm going to give it a little bit of room down. The VWAP is here 25. I don't like trading these stocks too much if you're wrong, because it'll snap through these levels and then print like you see these wicks down here. They're pretty nasty. So we're going to wait to see if CGC can't get going here. Obviously, it would be nice to get the market going as well. Boeing and CGC, the two longs we have, not great with the market coming down, but we have our stops and they're relatively comfortable. So Brendan, give us another name here.
Just watching oil here, guys. We're back at 15 once again for the June contract. It's come up here 1, 2, 3, about 4 times now and failed at 15. USO, worth noting, has broken that top and is making new highs on the day. So crude oil struggling, USO looking a little more positive, guys.
Yeah, and Oxy just bounced like 60 cents. And the day that I don't take it off of the open short is the day that it ends up working out. We're about to retest that 12.20 area. That's actually been a solid price on Oxy. It also happens to be the top right before the open, 12.25. Check that. So that could be a breakout type trade. For me, with oil futures going to the downside, I will take a crack. One shot at it in front, probably going to be a reverse to the long side at 12.21. You can't fight this market, and I think one of the things you got to consider here is when trading the equities, they're not going to just simply blindly follow the price of crude oil futures. That's just not how it's going to be. There's so much speculation going on. I think there could be some dislocations. We saw that in the afternoon yesterday when we were trading.
Yeah, guys, and here's a home run a little bit again. We're back, guys. We take XOM long, 53s. Yeah, this is a big trade here. We're getting out in the 60, 67, 68. Good trade here. Take a bunch of shares. Take this long. XOM now, guys. Long 40, 53 and cashing out. You want home runs. There's another one for you. Another 20-cent winner on big shares here. XOM heading north side now. We're long at 40, 53. Oil, like Neil mentioned here. USO getting blown off the top a little bit here. So let's take XOM and take some profits out. Now, guys, XOM, big trade here.
We just got that Oxy in front of that 12.25, but I'll let you guys know IBM reversed to the long side. So you get the short, looked pretty good, reversed that 114, which was our out, and quickly get a 50-cent scalp to pay back for anything you lose on the short. But for the time being, it's the play in Oxy. That's what we just added here at 12.24 short in front of 25. It is a reversal long, but we're just playing off of this level. You had such a move to the upside with oil going down. We're going to take that crack to be able to grab that little short, see if we can't scalp a bit off, maybe hold the rest for a $12 retracement as well. I still have Philip Morris, of course, that's at 75, basically even. It's in the money about 30 cents or so. We have taken profit. Given the fact that we're in a bit of a range here in the futures, either we break that range or we break past our stop at 75.50. Not a heck of a lot of reason to get out of that one until we get any kind of movement in either one of those metrics.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting out of some of our XOM, though, up here as it just fades back down through 40, 50. But this is a mover, so we're completely fine with that. 1, 2, 3. We're out of half of our XOM, so update on that one. Okay, CGC gets as high as 44, guys. I was getting greedy and waited at 48, but we are long 36 here. Like I said, you can get these bust outs. So unfortunately, I didn't have an order there. Now we have an order at 42. So if this rips up, we'll get some out at 42 for a nice little 8 penny winner there. 6 penny winner, and then we'll wait for the maximum up here, 1548, for a decent spot to go on this one. Come on, XOM. We're long right here at 40.53. This would be a good one. I'm trying to get some out here, more out in the 60s and 70s. Our best out on XOM was, of course, 67 off of a 53 long. So we'll take some more out at 58 there. And it all depends on the shares you guys have. Watch out for your trades. I'm long Boeing, I'm long CGC, and I'm long XOM right here.
If you can't beat them, join them. We tried the short in Moderna. We took profit off on half of it. We talked about why we needed to do that. It was looking relatively strong. When it hits our stop, we reverse to the long side, immediately are able to take off a quick 50-cent scalp, and now hanging on to the rest. We're in the money about $1 on this Moderna. The spread's all over the place, so it goes from $1 in the money to 80 cents in the money like wildfire here. But 55.55 is the high. We got this one a buck lower than that. It is what it is. Moderna's just been so ridiculously strong. Could not fight it forever. Quickly going to recap the position board for you guys because we have this 4 positions on. Moderna is new. It's a reverse to the long. 54.57 was our latest add. Of course, we got some at the 54 break as well. We still have some short in Oxy at 12.24. We scalped half of that for a 10-cent win. Philip Morris, we still got at 75. I mean, it's a good short. It hasn't really broken anywhere past 75 even, and our stop is at 50, so we're giving that one some room. We have a target where we might add to it, but it hasn't really moved a heck of a lot, and I think there's still potential on any kind of a flush to get all the way down to 72 even. But right now, I'm going to slide my stop in Moderna over to break even. Now it's gone $1 in the money. I don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade after having taken profits on 2/3.
Yeah, good. We definitely never want to have those turn around on us. I'm still waiting on this XOM. We can go for my position board if you guys want to. Let's update it, just make sure it's correct. Yeah, it's all long. So here we go, guys. These are the positions I have on right now, and they're all pretty good. Which way am I looking here? Okay, Boeing right now, long 140.33. That's roughly flat. I mean, it's down 50 cents right now. CGC in the money right now, and XOM is hovering around flat as well. So 3 positions, all 3 longs, guys.
Yeah, and so I basically have a split here with longs and shorts, but Moderna might get that trailing stop. If we can hold that previous opening range high, that's where I put my trailing stop to. That'll be fantastic. I think we retest the top there at 55.50. It's all fresh territory for Moderna, as it's been such a high flyer here. Watt is finally giving you that consolidation lower, giving you that 330 to 350 that we're talking about working off of, and testing 3 even. So your entry point is either take some on the break of 3, which I don't love, or wait to get a price closer to that 330 mark, so 315 to 330. That'll be the target entry point. You can see here on the chart, you're getting a wide consolidation, but it's done 30 million shares, so you want to jump in while the water is warm.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to bring up here, we do have our guest of the day coming through at 11:50. So you can see here, Timothy Riley, Charles Cassis from the NYSE. Look at this guy, Senior Director, Institutional Tradings. Can you get any bigger than that? Maybe. How about Director of Trading Floor Operations from the NYSE?
That's
Timothy Riley, Charles Cassis. Doesn't get any better than this, guys. 11:50. Join us, and we'll talk everything trading. These are the big hitters. No other show's going to get this period. So join us on 11:50, guys. Big time hitters coming through. Brendan will be talking to Timothy and Charles. Everything trading, guys. 11:50. If you miss it, I would cancel everything.
No excuses.
Catch this for sure. So 11:50, guys. Join us. Timothy and Charles from the NYSE.
Brandon, what do you got for us, buddy?
A little financial name, or not terribly little, but Ally here, ALLY, up, or it's still in negative territory, but up on the session here. 1450 was the open, so we're crawling our way back up to 15. They reported results that were kind of in line with expectations, but a whole bunch of downgrades and price cuts, or price target cuts on this one today, but clawing its way back towards that 15 area, guys.
Okay, CGC finally gets out there. We take a little bit out at 1542, but then we fail on the rest as it does break that level here. So we're getting out. We're very, very small now on CGC as it does come back down and fail. These weed names, man, I find really, if it doesn't get going initially, then it's probably worth dumping off a little bit here. We did take Beyond Meat at a 91 break, so we'll wait on that one. Spread now 40 cents. So we got to hold up on Beyond Meat as we are long now above 91 in a little bit of trouble. But what's not in trouble right now is Hello, you want some Raptor basketball? You're not going to get it, but you are going to get some swishes here. Look at this XOM now, a day's high, and we are long quite a bit of shares here at 40.52. XOM, guys, making that move up as oil continues to move up. This is a 40-cent winner on XOM. Big time moves here. We're making all the money back here, guys. What a great trade. We're huge. I'm already up more right now today than I was yesterday, guys.
Quick look at Moderna continuing to test that high. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we've tested 55.50. 55.55 is going to be the top. I cannot sit here and fail to take some kind of profit. But you get into this situation where you have house money that you're working with and 2/3 already out. We're going to let this one break, guys, and we're going to consider adding at a 55.55 break, maybe double up our position here. Moderna just has such a high flyer mentality that I feel like you got to let this one ride. It's going to give me my target entry on Watt, so we'll get into that one in a second. We reversed long into Oxy at the 12.25 break. We talked about that level and how strong it was since the open. So Watt, we just grabbed the short. We still have, of course, that Philip Morris short, which is in the money about 30 cents. It bounces 80 cents to 30 cents to 80 cents, but it's been a fantastic winner for us to the short side.
Yeah, BYND, guys, Beyond Meat. Once again, another dollar there. We get out at 92, so we're still holding 2/3 of that one. So we hit the explosions, and we rein in the money, guys. Beyond Meat, boom, that's a dollar winner for you guys. How about XOM? This is a 25-cent winner. We took some out. I mean, we've just been layering these out, guys. Here's the chart. In here, bang, 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 and out all the way up here as well. So everything working out for us today. The only problem we have on right now is this Boeing trade that we are long at 140 and change. We're going to give this one all the way down to 139. But what you got, Valeria?
Hey guys, a lot of you when just joined us wrote on the chat, are those trades even real? Do the guys trade paper money, or how do they do that so fast? I want to do that too. So guys, I'm answering you. All of guys' trades are real, and they are real pros. They have more than 30 years of trading experience. That's why they are those people who you want to ask questions and advices. Guys, keep your questions coming on the chat. Mention me, and I'll pick one which I like the most and ask directly to traders, so you can receive live answer. And of course, show us your support. Please hit the thumbs up. Yesterday we reached 400 likes by the end of the day. Let's do no less than that today for sure. I'll see you later, and for now I'll go make coffee for Neil and Sean.
Thank you very much, Valeria.
Coffee,
I'm going to let you guys know about that Watt position. Of course, I told you the consolidation you're looking for in front of that 350, 330 range. We did grab an entry in the teens there at 313. It dipped below 3, but just watch out because you got VWAP here at 293, and make sure you check out. We're going to have a video on VWAP coming out, so a good learning experience. So watch out for that. We will take some off if it breaks back above 3 even. So consider that a trailing stop if you want to call it that for half the position to lock in at least 10-cent profit. And then look for the bigger flush. 250 is where we had a bit of a level right before they open. That's your ultimate target short here. So you are looking for quite a hefty return on Watt. It's up 180%. Brendan, what do you got, buddy?
A little small cap energy name. Brian in the chat mentioned GPOR here. 51% positive note just out on that one versus the rest of the sector. So broke a dollar here on huge volume. Got all the way up to 125. Bit of a pullback. Oil kind of hanging out here, but GPOR off to the races, guys.
Oh man, why do we not take and hold on to maximum? We've been absolutely destroying XOM, and we can just continue to floss these off, baby. Here we go. Upside. Look at this. Bang, bang, bang. Follow me on Twitter, guys. We'll be posting these charts. These are my trades. And yeah, paper money, I don't even know what that is here right now. We're just going to the top side here. We're trading real. I wouldn't sit here and trade and not put on risk, guys. This is what we do. Neil and I have been doing this, like we said, for over 30 years combined. Yeah, I think it's a little more than that. But we're going to keep going long side here, Neil. This is almost a clean dollar, 75 cents on XOM. This is how we do it, guys. Crush City over on this side.
Yeah, and we're looking at Watt here. We've now got what we like to do on these small cap names, which is about a 10% return. I did already take some off there in the 90s, so we did take a 20-cent win on Watt. So you already have some money in the bank. We talked about that 250 mark. You're thinking about where to reload. It's likely going to be somewhere in that 3 to 310 range, but It's just not going to give you a chance. We just flossed it off as we pass through 280. I think we're going to get a nice retest of that 250 area. You want to have more shares on, but one of those things where if I don't get that halt on the way down, which I usually love, it's harder to get into a bigger position because you don't get that tighter consolidation. But either way, fantastic retracement on Watt. Just had to be patient with it. Allow this one to settle itself down and let you reap the rewards. I'll get back to Tiffany in a bit. That's worked in the money 50 cents for us. Don't care too much about that one in terms of how volatile it's going to be, but it's a nice little mover off that level that we mentioned, 128 even to 128.50. Brendan talked about this SCYX. The only thing I'll say is a penny stock, volume 5.5 million, but it's made a bit of a double bottom here at 85 cents, so that could be a level worth watching. It's down 11% under some pressure. Look for a break of that price. Other than that, I'm not really looking at much other than a retest of one even.
Okay, so yeah, the only trades we have on here, we have this Boeing long. It's trying to go. It did go for us. It went up about 50 cents, but we want more than that on Boeing, obviously. Okay, CGC, we still have a baby long. We're waiting on that one. I dumped 2/3 of the trade down here. We'll see if it breaks 15, and if it does, we'll get out. If not, we'll wait for that higher side here. And then Beyond Meat, we're long at 91.15. Our best out is the high of the day here, which is 92. So that's an 85-cent winner there. We took that on Beyond Meat. That's on the 1/3. I'm still waiting for this to break. Although I'm wondering if we are a little high side on this one. Where's Beyond Meat here? This stock, again, going through the moon on the Starbucks news there. So there you go. Is it going to be? Nope, no meat there. You can see $92. We'll see if we can break above that. But here we go. We're long at 91.15. I mean, I could take 50 cents on this all day, but we're going to wait to see if we can't get a little more action here on Beyond Meat, breaking back above $92. We'll get out at 92.50 if we can, then hold the last third. But Beyond Meat right now bouncing off 92 just a couple times here. I may change my mind and get out and then hold the last third for a home run, but I still think we could break through 92 here, guys.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at when you guys were mentioning Macy's. Actually forgot about that stock and that $5 level that I previously liked. So you got to bounce off of this one. It's going to have to be some kind of consolidation retracement short if we're going to take one in there. But I got to get back over to our PM trade. That's of course Philip Morris. It was the short that we've been mentioning off 75.50. As we keep reloading in here, and I've been taking profit every time we get some. You got to find a place to take some profit. Here it dips back down to VWAP, and we'll look to see if we can't get some shares out in front just as a profit-taking measure. That's going to be what we'll do here for about 50 cents once again. So we take 50 cents, 60 cents one time, we take 50 cents the next time, maintaining that short position in front of that 75.50 level. And at this point, it's actually looking like a potential breakout. So I wasn't going to reverse, being sort of a bearish on the name today, but it looks like it's going to give you a shot at a reversal at 75.50, especially if this ends up being a hold through VWAP. It tests it once, breaks through, you get a smaller test, breaking through a little bit lighter, and if we hold it here, yeah, we're reversing long at 75.50, even though we've already gone 2 for 2 on the short.
Boeing's trying to go. We have no losers today, guys. Well, we have CGC. But we have, other than that, guys, this has been a pretty sweet day. Boeing trying to go. I almost got out. Why, thank you, Valeria. Cheers to anybody drinking coffee with us this morning. If you're a coffee fan, put that in the chat. If you're tea as well, I don't know. I'm more of a coffee guy. I think, Neil, you're a coffee guy as well. But if you do get a sore throat, like we tend to get here, it's nice to drink tea near the end. But Boeing here does tick up 140, almost 141 and change. So maybe we should get out. I just want to talk about Beyond Meat. I did give up a little bit there. So we're in. We're out 2/3 both times. The last one, 91.85. So a 60-cent winner, 80-cent winner. Combined, that's $1.40 right now on Beyond Meat. We'll wait to hit a home run on the other ones, but everything's still working upside for us now, guys. What a fantastic day. I'm going to take a sip of coffee and throw it over to Brendan for Happening Now.
Hey guys, just seeing that U.S. existing home sales number coming out. Looks like it's basically in line with expectations to slightly lower existing home sale prices, 280,000. That number is definitely lower than what was expected. The sales, though, basically in line. Let's have a look with North American markets here. S&P 500 still in negative territory, 1.5% to the downside. The Dow exactly the same. 1.5%, 1.6%. NASDAQ, very similar as well, about 1.6% to the downside. We had a little bit of a move higher. We're kind of consolidating at this point. Russell, small caps, yeah, pretty negative, 2.3% for the Russell today to the downside. Here in Toronto, the TSX coming back higher, oil, energy names at least, coming back to the upside, helping to offset some of the weakness. So 0.8% for the TSX. Down in Brazil, the BOVESPA pretty much flat at this point. It was a little bit higher to start the day. Here in Toronto, Cenovus Energy, we gapped down with oil prices right across the board as far as energy names are concerned, but a lot of them look like this, back to the upside, kind of in this range from yesterday afternoon. We'll see what happens at 365 here. Needs to hold as far as support is concerned for CVE. If you like the really little ones with lots of volume, Baytex Energy here, dead flat, really not doing anything as far as movement, but lots of opportunity there if you want to capture some spread for BTE. Enbridge as well had a big time gap to the downside, trying to get higher here, but 40.50 looks like a bit of a problem for Enbridge. So energy names are trying to come back up, offsetting some of the weakness. Banks also, I noticed, guys, pretty weak to start. Still red right across the board. Back to you.
Weakness, Brendan. We've been talking about Philip Morris. It's going to finally break down through VWAP here. But again, each time it's tested VWAP, it's been a more shallow move. So if it can't get past 74.20, I'm going to trail this one to about 74.75 or so. That will lock in another 50-cent win. It indicates to me that we're having a little bit more strength since that flush that we had right before the open. And we talked about how that flush on light volume might not mean a heck of a lot because it wasn't anybody trading. And wait for the open to test it out. We do make some money on the shorts. We open up ourselves to the idea that it's looking a little bit more bullish than we were anticipating. So you can actually be against the trend a little bit here and profit 3 for 3. And that's what's going to happen, is we can't really lose now that we're in the money.
And I'm just posting some tweets here, so follow us on Twitter at TraderTV Sean, at TraderTV Neil and Brendan, and at just TraderTV. So how about that? Okay, XOM guys, big winner there, no doubt. Look at Boeing. I tweeted it. Here we go. I mean, this is what happens. You got to properly structure your trades, and here we go. Boeing to the top side. We take that long, blowing out. We have 139 as a bottom. It bounces off there a couple times. Then we ho-hum and take that dollar. So now we're back at this range. Unfortunately, I didn't get greedy enough when we talk about this trade. I gave you 141.50. That's where it's bouncing now. Unfortunately, we take out 141.25. Now we wait for Boeing to come all the way back to yesterday's place of close, 143.50 and change. We are long Boeing. We've got everything for you guys right now. XOM, big time winner here. CGC, ho-hum. This is the losing trade of the day. We're going to wait to see if it breaks through 15. That's going to be a loser no matter what. And look at Beyond Meat, guys. This one breaking back down through 91. We still are long. We talked about our winners and our losers here. This is why we take out 2/3. Let's just zoom this in a little bit. We take out 2/3 when we notice that it's bouncing off this level just too many times for me. So we're going to wait for 89.50 or so down here. But for right now, Beyond Meat, it's in a little bit of trouble. I don't mind getting out for flat if it can come back up here. We'll take out our Beyond Meat. But right now, guys, Boeing is $1.50 in the money. So that's obviously a home run. So we hit the arrow one for that. XOM is 50 cents in the money. And those are the trades we're working with right now. I have high side targets on some of these ones, guys.
And I'll tell you what happens. Sometimes you flush yourselves down the toilet when you move a stop. I wanted to move to Watt to 250. We did take this one off. I just mentioned to you guys at $3 when it came back in. We started that one at 313. We added to it in front of 3. We ended up taking it out for a couple of pennies worth of a hit on our last shares, only to now watch it look like it's going to give that second leg. I am also tracking TRNX. I need to trade below that 30-cent mark, and then we're going to jump into that one, see if it can't get a second flush. We're back in the money, $1 on Philip Morris. That's our last short that we have left on. Brendan, what do you have?
Just watching UCO, guys. If you want another name to look at when it comes to crude oil, this is a ETF that tracks crude oil. So UCO.AM not up 1,600% today. It was reverse split, obviously, way down here at $1.30 yesterday. So back to 24-ish on the day for UCO, but another one that tracks crude, guys.
I'm just having a quick look at IBM here as it tested this level here, 115.70, which was the top right before the open, maybe at 8:30, sorry, so an hour before the open in the pre-market, and turned around on a dime, giving you all the way back to 115. It was a bullish trade on the reverse at 114. Those are the levels that we were talking about, that $113 and $114 range. Gave you both a winner on the short. It gave you a reversal win on the long. Now we're going to look to see if we fail at 115.70. That's probably a re-entry point if it gets down to that 114 mark. But it's going to be the story of the futures here. That ES that the room was talking about, holding in a 20 handle range, so it's very, very sleepy. You've got to make sure you're in the hot names that are moving. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. One of those names is certainly going to be FRO. made a nice move to the upside. It's now basically hanging right around at that open price of 11.20. If it can't crack VWAP here, this could be a retrace sell, and I talked about only wanting to be bullish in this, but it is sort of setting up here that if we can see some volume down around 11.10, 11.15 and hold below, that could turn into a sell. It hasn't happened yet. It's otherwise a breakout through 11.30.
172.80. I'm just trying to check out Microsoft here. Everything just keeps going for us nicely right now. But so let's go back over to Microsoft, the stock that we love here. So let's just check this out. VWAP is right here at 172.20. Could be a nice little break. This is a 1 minute VWAP. So if you're looking to go long, that's not a horrible spot. We do have that VWAP video coming out for you guys soon. 172.20 on Softy. Not a bad spot to take that long. I'm going to go longer if we could get near some of this garbage back here and break some of these bottoms. 172.80, 172 and change. But right now, I don't mind this Microsoft long if it can break maybe even above this wick. Let's try 172.40 or so on Microsoft, but now we're seeing a pullback down.
Yeah, I'm just going to floss it off for you guys. We'll talk about that Philip Morris trade that we just took, and it's basically been a pretty solid structure on this one. We talked about 75.50. I'll make it a bit easier for you guys to see. That's the level that we're working off on the top in the pre-market. It was light volume. We work into it right in that opening range. You allow it to test the top at the open. Once that holds, I jump into shares on the way back in. It's just an easier way to structure it from a risk standpoint. You're not sitting in front of a moving freight train. You're jumping in with the momentum. We scalp some out. We get 80 cents here actually. 73.80 is the first out. We then reload in front of 75.50. Take some out in front of VWAP just so we have the opportunity to reload when it looked a little bit bullish. Now putting in some higher lows since the open while maintaining a position. Clearly it's going to be a bit of a pivot point. Slide my stop to the top end of this range to lock in profit. Don't get stopped out. We catch the bottom here at 73.80, $1.50 win, so it's 80 cents, 50 cents, a buck 50. There actually could be more downside to this play. If you find yourself still short, I still think there's an opportunity to get down to 72. You could also be reloading in and around VWAP. You can go tighter stop at 75 or still use that 75.50, which I've liked all day.
Yeah, exactly. PM been a good stock for Neil today for sure. So yeah, stay with what's working for you guys. We did get flushed out, so we hit a fail here on Beyond Meat. That does go all the way down to 89 and change. So we get stopped out there. Not the ultimate price, but 89.30. So we'll wait on Beyond Meat. But again, you know, these top two wicks there were grayed out, saving that trade. Thank God. Boeing got nicely in the money. We are almost $2 straight in the money there before it does foul back down here as the futures coming crashing in. So right now, Boeing, CGC, and XOM. What you got, Valeria?
Hey guys, welcome everyone who just joined our live trading show. If you're passionate about trading, if you want to learn how to trade and stay updated with the latest news from the stocks market, you're at the right place in the right time. Please hit the thumbs up, shows your support. I saw that we need like around 30 more likes to reach 200. And as I said before, I'll be hitting fireworks every time we reach another 100. So please guys, hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for our channel. Also stay tuned, a lot of interesting stuff yet to come. We are having guests of the day, Charles and Timothy, right from New York Stock Exchange. You don't want to miss that. You can prepare your questions for our guests too. Write them on the chat and I'll see you later.
So I'm just going to answer a question here actually out loud. I can't pronounce that name. We'll call it Baboon 1977. Look, we do mention to you guys the key levels that we're working off of, and I know I'll apologize here. We'll mention a key level at 9 o'clock. We'll have our list down. We'll talk about a stock, and then we don't get the entry point until 20, 30 minutes later. And if you haven't tuned in, you're just seeing it pop into position. That's the reality of the market and how it's going to work. Try to tune in as early as possible. Get that watch list that we're going through. We do talk about our key entry points and levels that we're looking at. And before I throw to Brennan here, I've got to do this to myself. It's not often you can have a winning trade or a series of winning trades, both short and long in Moderna, and not be happy with yourself. But when you choose a trailing stop like I did at the opening range break, instead of VWAP or the even dollar, you get burned here. And we're in the money on Moderna. We could have given it to 54 right here at VWAP. We did not do that. We took the opening range top there, and it ended up getting absolutely burned as it then turns around on a dime and runs $2. So this stock is unbelievably strong. Should have had a bit more faith in that reverse long, even though it was a nice winning trade for us. Brendan, what do you have?
Just going to update VXRT here. We talked about this one earlier. 350 up here. If you go out to a daily time frame, monster level on VXRT, still up 35%. But watch this 350. Might be some trouble for it, guys.
27.76 here on some Uber. We'll take a little bit of short here on Uber if we can, down 1.42%, breaking through VWAP right now at 80. So let's just give it a couple more pennies just to make sure, and then go short on Uber here. And we'll do that hopefully right now once it breaks through 27.76, 27.75. We'll take a short here on Uber. So there it is. That's that tick in. So you can see right now, guys, with this purple tick, we now do go short 27.76 now short on Uber. So watch out for this one as it can continue to make its move down. We'll see if it can get down here into the 40s. But Uber right now, we start to go short on that one. And I like the Uber name, so we'll hail the cab here. We'll get into an Uber soon. Well, we're short right now. So a penny right now, 27.76 is where we're short Uber, guys.
Back above that $3 mark is Watt. So I'm now stocking this one. If it gets back into that 330 range, that's what we're going to look to test. It was 330 to 350. That was that target. I think if you try a short here, you've got to be a little bit aware of the fact that you had that previous pre-market top at 290. I use 3, but 290 to 3 is a good mark. And now that you've tested above it, it's a little bit of strength there. Have a tight stop. Have an idea where you want to get out. For me, if it retests to 330, it's got to be in that 350 mark. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of that trade to the short side if we get it. Looking at some TRNX now at 30. But for now, let's go to Brendan for some upgrades and downgrades.
So much to look at today. Here's a little bit of a peek at some names that have been upgraded or downgraded on the day. Really the only one of interest on this side was Southwest. Really, pushing back to the upside. Big gap down with the overall market, but as many of the airlines are, kind of clawing its way back to the upside. So I'll show you that one in a second here. American Airlines on the other side of things, downgraded, but positive on the day. So AAL also moving. Facebook catching a downgrade today, down 3%. Really clean move off of the open for FB. And I mean, as far as the moves go, Twitter there, 3.8% to the downside as well. I'll show you this one first. Here's Love. Southwest got back to 31, kind of stalling out here is right where we closed yesterday. But nice move after the flush out off of the open. Nice move from 30 down here all the way back to 31 to the upside for LUV in New York. Facebook, yeah, really weak off the open here, guys. 175.50 was the area we opened, got all the way down to 172, finding some support there. Like the way this chart looks, if we're going to break further to the downside, we might get a crack in Facebook. That's a look at some upgrades and downgrades. Back over to you guys.
You guys like this chart here on Slack. A nice little short here, busting out 28.50. We go short now, capture some out in the 30s, capture some out in the teens, get some out at 12 there. So Slack work to the south side, working it right now. So once again, guys, rein in the money if you're following this trade along here. Big time mover there. Nice little capture of 30-40 cents there. Work, nice win on that one. Uber, we got some out here on these bottom wicks. That's what these little green ticks are, 72, 73. But now with the futures bumping just a little bit, you can see we are starting to now get out of some of our Uber, and it's starting to head to the back to the upside here. So we got to watch out for Uber. Our Boeing, we do take, unfortunately, we get stopped on that one. Again, on a horrible little wick down there because now it'd be back in the money, but we take $1 on the clean one, and then we lose 30 cents on the downside there. So my Boeing profit should be somewhere around 70 cents per share. You'll see that at the bottom. We keep calculating that for you guys, so watch out for that one. But here comes Uber back to the downside here. We are short 76. I do like this one. I'm going to have to find out where we get out. I mean, it might even be all the way up here, even the high of the day. I mean, if this market wants to go up, fine. But I do not think Uber is a great stock to hold, especially with today's economy and what's going on. So let's just keep shorting Uber. We'll give it a little bit more room to the upside than we normally would. But here we go. Work again, guys. We're going to wait to see if we can't get these bottom ticks out again. We are short right now, guys. 28.44. You see that little tick here? Look, it's just winners on this side, Neil. What you got working?
You guys were talking about Smile Direct a little bit earlier. I'm watching a big buyer here at 480. It tried to retrace through that price. It's running into a lot of resistance. It's that particular order. So we're going to grab a short if that does break to the south side on Smile Direct. We did work into that TRNX, so we are adding to that position. I talked about 30 liking it. It's hanging around VWAP, giving you a nice little entry point. 33 was another level worth working off of on that name, guys. So Smile Direct about to break through, it looks like it's going to be an interesting opportunity for us. I'm going to jump back over to Philip Morris, which is continuing its slide. It's a very slow move to the downside, but you can see here, it's actually moved a couple of dollars here. We actually captured $1.50 on this one, but it has potential to go even further. It was a bit of a level in the pre-market, even though it was not a lot of shares at 73.50. So if we can hang below that, that could be the next place that you work off of. Clean downward trend in Philip Morris, worth revisiting. I got Watt looking like it's back below that $3 mark. That's going to be the other place that you can re-enter, of course, if it hangs below VWAP. It's now retested, never got to 330, so it never actually got to that target area that we're looking for, which is a bit of a weak sign for it. So that's a good thing. If we can hang below 3 even, 290 to 3 becomes your new entry point, looking for that 250 flush.
And Uber, guys, again, you take the shares, you get the rewards. There's the siren. So Uber, guys, we're getting out now in the mid-60s there. So nice little out. We'll hold the rest. I mean, whatever. We're going to see if this one can't fade all the way back down. Our work is trying to break through 28. We just take, we don't actually, do we even take it out? No, we do not. I thought I had a bid down here, but we do not. So 28, we're going to see if it can break that. We're nicely in the money now. This is down. This is slack. We are now down. We're now in the money now. A clean 40 cents. So there's some size there. I thought I had a bid in the evens there, so we're going to put one back just in case this doesn't want to break through 28. We don't want to let this one turn into a loser. But Brendan, what you got, bud?
I was going to save this one for small cap world, but worth a mention, I feel, right now. TWOU, small cap, but still down on the day, negative 4%. Tight little consolidation here. We had to move off the lows from 2020 up to above 2120. Dollar move to the upside. They announced a huge offering this morning. They're raising some debt, but clawing its way higher. 2U, guys.
2U. Okay.
Thank you very much. 2U, we do like. I'm still watching us rub against that level 480 on Smile Direct. Can I have to get some locates for that one? They shouldn't be too expensive, but we get that break. We're going to jump into the south side trade. It's only a couple of pennies that we're going to end up paying for those locates. I'm going to try adding. I did add to that TRNX, at 30 cents. It's not going to give me that push to 33 just yet to get an even better price. Some of you guys are mentioning Watt through $3. I talked about that one. It's an entry for me. When it breaks 3 to about 290, that's about as far as I'm willing to pay for that short. So just loading up those locates here in Smile Direct when that break does come. It's chewed through that order here. About 50,000 shares have already gone. It was 90,000 total, so actually closer to 60,000 is gone. Very, very close to getting that break on Smile Direct.
Guy, another destruction here. Yeah, good look on Smile Direct there, Neil. But this trade Uber right now, we smile all day on that one. So look at this. We just take some out in the 50s off of 75 short. So bang, 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 all the way down here. Continue to cash in. Let's go trader board on. I know it's been a little hard to follow some of our trades, so we'll go to camera 2 now if we can, guys. This is what we've got on. It is not showing up. Let me hit the start button here. There it is. Okay, here we go. So this is what we're dealing with. Uber is a 12-cent winner right now as we speak. Work is 25 cents. We just took some out for a 40-cent winner there. XOM is a 40-cent winner. We still have that on board. So 2 shorts, 1 long, all 3 winners. It's a perfect day. So we're going to hit perfect here for us. The only stock that we've messed up, which I guess means it's not perfect, is CGC. But there you go. Big time moves. I hope you guys are following me. Right on the chat if you are. We've crushed the small cap name, FRO. We hit Coke today, earnings. I mean, what a great play this was on Coke early on, guys. Look at this. Short right off the open. This is the very first candle that happened on Coke. We see some big action in here. We talk about our 45.50 level. We short that. We take a clean dollar on the rest. Now Coke going upside. So here goes XOM. Wowzers. That one's now back. Today's high. XOM for the win. This guy just keeps hitting home runs here for you. XOM, big mover here to the top side. We just keep making more and more money, guys, today. I hope, Neil, you're having similar success. How is your Smile Direct right now?
It just broke through. It's not really moving too rapidly. We grabbed the short. I'm going to be adding to that one in front of 485. I'm going to give you guys the Tiffany chart. I told you at some point I would review it for you. I gave you the target range of 128 even to 128.50. You were able to get the bottom end of that range here. That's where I went long at 35 and then again at 50. It's now hanging around that 129 mark. It's all gravy at this point. You're looking for a move that'll give you about $1 worth of a win. It's just giving you zero reason to get out. It's not moving my stop. I am adding to it at will. If it gets anywhere close to my target range, I'm only a buyer down there. So that's what's going to be in Tiffany. Basically flat on the day. Watt is now below that $3 mark, so we're going to look to work back into a short. But it is actually time for Brendan and our small cap recap. Good timing.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time, lots of opportunities all across the board. We typically talk, about pharmaceuticals or therapeutics, bioscience companies in this sector, but yeah, the tankers, all small caps. So take your pick today. TK, there was this one, NAT, there was Frontline, FRO, all moving quite significantly, but no real significant direction. It was very strong, obviously, heading into the open. This is NAT we're looking at, still up 13.5%. Gave you an opportunity, had to be very quick, though, above that pre-market high on the long side. Got as high as about 580 before getting absolutely smacked. Right back down to 510. We're kind of retracing back into 550. Might be a decent spot to look at it to the downside if oil starts to maintain a little bit of strength here. Some of these might come off a little bit as they've had about a 2 or 3 day run to the upside. So that one definitely strong today. This one, Watt, yeah, crazy move in the pre-market, obviously. Gapping up to 250. We had a tight consolidation. Looked like it was setting up beautifully to kind of puke at the open. I mean, we were trading all the way down here below $1 yesterday. So did take the top off. So if you were short at the open, easy stop out there. The long was great, obviously, through 250 all the way up to 375. Reversed if you go out to a daily time frame, 375 to 390. Bit of congestion in that area. So reversed on a dime at that, giving an opportunity to short that through 320 back to 250. So consolidating now, but a couple of opportunities for WATT as well, guys. Back over to you.
Watt. Yeah, I didn't trade Watt yet today, but we are right now going a little bit into Microsoft here. We are noticing, of course, that Microsoft is a little bit, well, I mean, everything's pretty weak right now, but Microsoft's a little more than the market here, down 2.5%. Market only down 1.64%. So we'll start a little baby short here. I just wanted some shares, so it's really not a big position, but we are starting the short right now. 170.54 on Microsoft. I'd love to average in. We're going to kill it if it gets above 171, or maybe 171 and change here if that does come through. We're trying to get some more in the 70s, so maybe we get that very soon, and then we'll work our order around on Microsoft. But here we go. We got that next short, another short right there again as the future's looking to tick up here. So 170, yeah, I mean like 171, 171, 10 maybe. This is not a big position as we have other shorts on. We have Uber in the money 12 pennies. We have Work in the money 30 pennies. And look at XOM, guys, at the high of the day. This is an 83-cent winner. So right now we're rocking and rolling on everything equities. Now it doesn't matter whether or not you're on Uber, oil, small caps, whatever. Stick with us, guys. We've got the winners.
And you guys are talking about VXRT, mentioning it as a squeeze. It's pulling back in. Every time it's tested VWAP, it's been a fantastic little buying opportunity. So whether you have it now or you're looking to add to it, you got a couple of things you can work off of. Previous bottom here at 305 if you want to look at sort of that opening breakout type of a potential on that pullback, or you can just take it in front of VWAP here. It's on 27 mil, so a nice little spot. I talked about 320 as a level on Watt. We did, of course, I just reloaded some there on that name. If it gets below 3, that's where the profit taking is going to occur. I like to let it break below that price before taking anything out, but I'm going to jump into this and join the party on VXRT, but it's a tighter stop. 3 to 305 is all I'll give it to. You had to have this one, so it would have made that little bottom. VXRT, but we're going to take this one right here in front of VWAP.
Yeah, Microsoft, our average price now 171 and change. So, 170.76 right now. But I'm going to get out soon, very soon right now. I don't like this price action. There we go. So we get out of 3/4 of it, breaking through 171. Watch the futures. I want to short Microsoft. I'm just going to find out a spot when we can, because right now the market is starting to head back upside. I do like the Microsoft short. Maybe we have to wait, like we said, until we get a little closer to VWAP. Let some of these buyers think that they're going to be right here. Buy this up to VWAP before fading back down. So Microsoft right now, we did take a little bit of a bath there and lose that 30 cents on a very, very small position. I'm not going to take anything until I see something. So either we break this bottom and we'll load up again, or we'll wait for it to come to some kind of a VWAP level. I'm sorry about all these wicks on here. We got to get those fixed, but that's just a candle problem. Uber back, Work back, and XOM now a clean look at XOM, guys. We are long 40.53. This is $1 in the money on that name. We love it.
I want to get you guys back to IBM for a quick second here. It's still down 4%, but it looks like it wants to retest that top both at the pre-market, but also off of the open at 115.70. We talked about liking this level and having a look at it, but it's going to have to be an initial retrace for me after it just failed lower. So I'm going to jump back into some shorts on IBM. Haven't done that since the open, here at 115 even or so in front of that high. Brennan, what do you got for us, buddy?
A little one here, guys. CATS was initiated at RBC and a couple other ones. Credit Suisse as well yesterday. Nice move up yesterday. So 26 all the way to 29.5 yesterday. We're continuing this move. Broke through that high right at the open there at $30. We're at 32 even now for CATS, guys.
CATX. Okay, that's not something bad to look at. Yeah, we have our trading floor in the background, as you guys can see there. Great camera work there, Rob. But right now, social distancing leaves all of our traders at home. So shout out to any of you guys watching. Hope everyone's doing well. And we can't wait to have, once again, a full trading floor back here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But I did want to quickly bring up one quick point here. If you could see on my screen, guys, Timothy Riley, Charles Cassis, big time guests coming your way at 11:50, 1150 a.m. Eastern Time. So Director of Trading Floor Operations, NYSE, and Institutional Equities as well. So two big hitters here, guys. You're not going to find these anywhere else. This is a free YouTube channel. What? So we're going to see these guys come on with Brendan at 11:50. So get ready to rock and roll with those two. That should be fun. If you have anything, any questions, maybe put them in the chat there. We'll see if there's anything that Brendan's not going to talk about. But there's a lot on slate right here for those guys. So big time guests. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy them. At 11:50, we are back into a Microsoft short, but right now we're still waiting for this thing to break through 28. We've destroyed this stock, 28.50, no doubt about that. XOM now at all-time highs. All-time highs. What am I talking about?
Watch out for that
highs.
break on Watt, guys. Just took mine out there at 320. Talked about that as a kill spot. I did get into that IBM short. However, we mentioned this one as a retest of that top. It fails lower. We jumped in like we said we would. 115.22 we got. So 20 cents better than our initial target. If we can get any retracement into VWAP, that's about $1 worth of a win that you can capture there. That VXRT that you guys were mentioning earlier, my price is going to be about 14.5 on that one. Give it to 305 and see if that one can't retest the top as well. We're still in that futures range that we were mentioning this entire morning, but I want to give you the idea of this stop here in IBM. I'm going to actually give it to not quite the high of the day. Now, you could give it to the 115.70 high, but the fact that it's bounced off VWAP, I'm going to give it a tighter stop and then have a VWAP retracement type of idea here. So you're risking a little bit less. You still have $1 worth of upside. I like the structure of this trade. Watch out for Watt breaking potentially in that 330 to 350 range that we liked earlier. In a few minutes, we're probably going to be going to a little bit of a question we're going to have from Valeria. But before we do that, I want to jump back into one slow mover here. TRNX, was a monster trade for us yesterday. Today, we're looking for a break here through 29 as we've worked this 30 even short. It got to 26. That's our target there. I'd like to be able to capture another 10% win on TRNX. It is set up nicely to do it, and there's still time to get in. But now, let's go to Valeria at the big screen.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully your trading day is amazing and hopefully we are being helpful and entertaining. So to be even more helpful, I told you that I'll be picking up one question each day and ask it directly to traders. So don't miss the opportunity. Keep your questions coming. And guys, stay tuned. We're having Mr. Charles and Mr. Timothy from New York Stock Exchange. So stay tuned. Well, here's the question for you, Neil and Sean. From Nick Diadza, when you take profits, how much do you usually take off the table at your first target, guys?
I mean, every trade's a little bit different. So the answer for me is anywhere from 10 to 50%, depending on the structure of the trade. If I'm looking at something like that TRNX, I'm only going to say this because I happen to have it up. In this situation, if my ultimate target is that 10% move, I usually want to have about half of my position on when it gets there. That's the range that I'm working for. And if it gets the halfway point, at that point I should have taken at least a quarter off. So that's how I would work something like a TRNX. If it's a breakout type play where it's just a key level break using momentum, a lot of times I'll play both sides, where it's the momentum break, we're just getting in and out very, very quickly in a matter of seconds. A lot of times that's a third to 50% off and hold the rest for the bigger move. But every trade's going to be a little bit different. As long as you have the structure set out beforehand and understand what your risk parameters are going to be, I think you'll be okay.
Okay, and yeah, talk about being okay. We are super okay because look at work. Boom, we say WTF to you, work, all the way down. We are still short here, 28.45. sound the sirens right now, guys. $27 stock. We're going to see if we can't take out a clean dollar on this. We're already out of 60% of our trade as that one keeps rocking and rolling. Microsoft goes down to this level. We're waiting down here, 170.60. See if we can't capture a clean 30 cents on this one. XOM, $1.40 now. $1.50 now in the money, XOM. Wow, this just keeps going. Everything rocking and rolling, guys. We are absolutely crushing this market today. Check Neil and I's profits on the bottom. It's amazing. This just keeps going. Here goes work. Just continues to go down. You're getting work, buddy. We're going to get out of this one right now. See if we can hold a little bit. But Brendan, what else, bud?
Another one from yesterday, Sean. Safety Group here, SFET. Big move down today, 28% rather, back to $1. We bounced off $1 early on. They had an offering as well this morning. So positive news yesterday. Had a bit of a push to the upside, but then just faded the rest of the day, all the way back to $1 for SFET, guys.
SFET. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those, it's a retracement play the other way because, of course, it's going to be down. It is that nice little setup. You know, the only problem with my IBM trade here is, I sort of mentioned why we would take a little bit of a tighter stop approach, is you see a bit of a wedge being formed. It looks like it's trying to make a tighter range in here, which I think might limit some of the upside, or in this case, downside, as we're short. So what we'll probably end up doing is taking anywhere from 60 to 80 cents instead of the entire dollar on this move, giving us an opportunity at a secondary play. I think that's probably the more prudent thing to do. It makes a lot of sense to me. It looks like it does want to test the top end, especially with the futures doing literally nothing here. I want to have some ammunition in case there's a retest of that top. It's a reverse long at 115.70. You can see the higher lows. It flushed off the open and has been recovering ever since. Bounced off VWAP once. I'm not going to let it bounce off twice and be too violent for me to be able to get out. So once again, another win on IBM. I just think we're going to slow down a little bit at 10:30 here on this name. I'm going to jump back over to that VXRT. I know some of you guys are trading that one. It's basically flat for me, but it did just have trouble bouncing through that 315 mark. We're basically holding around VWAP, a tight little range here. I'm playing the range. It's this 305 to 320 mark. It breaks below, we're going to be out. It breaks above, we're going to be adding. Otherwise, we're in basically at VWAP here. So if it breaks upside, your potential is at least 5 to 10% of a return. If it doesn't, you're only risking a few pennies. So I like that setup. Hope you guys are in there with me.
Guys, yeah, I hope you guys are in everything with us here. Let's go to our board. Look at these killer positions right now. Microsoft, this is a 70-cent winner right now. Uber's an 11-cent winner. Work is a $1 winner. XOM alongside is a $1.25 winner. I have 4 positions on, all of which are like 45 cents in the money or not. Obviously a lot more. XOM huge, Work huge. Hey, what's up if we're on this camera? Everything has been rocking today. Let's just keep this going. My net is at day's high. I'm making more money than I was yesterday. This is fantastic. Thank you for the show. Let's see if we can't get 1,000 viewers. Share the link. Let's go. Hit like. Do everything. Big guests coming on board today. I mean, this is just a rocking day here, guys. And I don't know what else to say, but Microsoft to the downside right now. Breaking day's low. We're short up here. 170.93. We had a fail break. We went short again, and now we crushed Citi on this one. So Work is a nice little dollar now in the money. We talked about that one. There's $1 on a $27 name. Uber, Work, XOM. Guys, the party continues. Let's just keep rocking this.
You guys are mentioning that Fro may not be dead yet, but it's certainly slowing down. You have to at least acknowledge the fact that you had this little top here in the pre-market and that little opening wick, and that's going to be that 1125 to 1130 mark. I wanted it to break out through there. I talked about wanting it through 1130. It hasn't been able to trade through that level aggressively. Instead, it's coming to the downside. Look, you have to remember where Frontiers came from. And that was $8 just a week ago. So we're already up, a good 25+%, over 30% in just a few trading sessions. And you got to look for a pullback sometimes. So if we don't break out of this range here and hang around VWAP, you have to be cognizant of the fact that the next move could be down if you've already missed the party to the upside. So for me, it's that 1130 mark we talked about before. I haven't changed my opinion on that, despite the fact I know a lot of people are going to be bullish on Fro. It could still go. I'm just waiting for more potential break through that little upside 1130 and then test that top.
Yeah, Fro was already a monster trade for me this morning. So hopefully you guys are trading some of these small cap stocks. We take it right away, 1136, and pump it all the way to 1155. Great trade there on Fro, and thanks for mentioning that, Neil. Yeah, I mean, any of these stocks can always get going here. 6 million shares. That WATT, though, that's a NASDAQ stock. Watt, I see a lot of talk about that. Obviously, 651 million shares. Holy crap. Not doing too much. If you break above this 338, that's not bad. bad. You can play the short on this one. It's really not moving enough for me. I prefer work, which is right now well, here, let's click on work. I mean, XOM there's $1.20 in the money. Work right now breaks down. Look at this short, guys. We are still in this name. This is $1.30 winner right now. Microsoft is $1 winner on Look where Microsoft is, guys. Breaking 170. We're short 171 here. Everything in the money, and in the money a hell of a lot. So let's throw it over to Brendan and get some more ideas. What's up, Brad?
Big move down here, guys. Just went negative in a big way, 12% in fact. We opened, actually went higher from 24 up to above 25.5 even, but just recently broke 24 and the floodgates opened. We're at 20.5 now for NVAX. Going to check on this one. Not seeing any news, but Novavax heading southbound, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at southbound trading here in Codex as well. Usually you like the flush trade on that one. It gave it to you at the open. It's now once again looking weak. I'm watching this 14. It's trying to take out this 1390 bottom. If we get anything in this consolidation range, I think we have another shot here in Codex. It's usually been a fantastic short. I'm going to quickly work out the position board here, guys, so you can see what we have on. I actually have a couple of longs and a couple of shorts here. So nice little blend here in a flat market. We're down 2%, but since the open we're relatively flat. I like to be set up that way. So as we throw it up here, we still have that TIF long, of course. 128.50 is that target range. It hangs out below 129, but it's been in the money the entire morning when we gave that one to you. Short on Smile Direct, that's a couple of cents in the money only. 479 short, it's at 75. Slow moving name. VXRT flat, 315 we have to the long side. And of course TRNX, we're still in the money on that one at 30 cents short as it tries to work its way back down to 26, but I like that Codex on the break right now as we take the position board off.
Yeah, good trades there. Neil trading a lot different symbols than I, and that's what makes it a special thing. So Uber, guys, it just goes out to the day's low there basically, and we hammer that. So I mean, I can just hit these symbols all day long here. We have four positions, of which 3 of them are $1 or more in the money, including Microsoft now breaking through 169. This is the stock du jour. This is probably our most successful stock easily on the show for both of us. Microsoft, more money made on this name than any other name on the show. That's a no-brainer. Work as well, $1 in the money there. You can see that one, big time trade right now. Work, more than $1 in the money. Our XOM, we're light on this one, but if I was heavier, we'd be getting out right now. 41.90 maybe where we're going to try to get this out, but that's $1.20 in the money. And then, oh yeah, the only stock that's not $1 in the money is Uber, and that's only 20 cents. And we're still playing off this first break here of 27.75. So we take that short. We're actually short 27.76 on Uber, but everything, guys, is just fantastic for me today. And yeah, I see that on the chat there about Apple getting hammered there. Yeah, I chose Microsoft instead of Apple. It was basically the exact same plays. If you want big cap stocks, guys, give them to me. I'm trading these every single day. Microsoft, Apple, so on and so forth. I'm also going to have a look at Roku and Netflix coming up. If there's any other names you guys want, hit them to me. But I have no loss from top. We're sirening this up. It's been a huge money-making day. Glad you guys are on board.
8,500 on the NASDAQ. We talk about the difference between the ES and the NQ. 8,500 down 2.2%. We're now only about 0.5% difference between the two. So good timing to go to Brendan and the Sector Watch to get an idea of why that's happening.
Hey guys, yeah, some interesting moves to say the least. Let's jump into the S&P 500 here and see what is leading the way to the downside. 2% now, 2.09% for the overall S&P 500. I want to start with the tech names here in the hardware development. FLIR, that was an earnings play, 11.7% to the upside. Everything else, though, I'll flip over to this side. Everything else, very, very negative. CRM, GPN, FLT, ACN, all 3+% in negative territory as far as the software names are concerned. Semis are red as well, but not quite as much, around 1% to 1.5%. But overall, the tech group among the leaders now to the downside. We said this morning, when you see that kind of move back up in the overall market, typically it's the tech stocks that have been leading that move. Not today. There's IBM just popped up 5.25% now to the downside after earnings, and they withdrew their full year guidance as well. Industrial stocks also very negative. Caterpillar there 4.3%, HWM 4%, Car, that was an earnings name, 3.8% to the upside. Consumer discretionary stocks over here, we've been watching this one. Down bottom left corner here, RCL, LVS, and MGM, some of the hotels and cruise names in this group. To the downside, once again, we were talking about airlines off the top of the show. The entire group was negative in the pre-market, still in this group as well. Expedia and Booking.com, 3+% for both of those in negative territory. So another one in the red. Real estate stocks, material stocks really getting hit today. LYB and FCX, 4+% each to the downside. We have communication stocks, the Staples Group, energy stocks as well, all in negative territory. One of those days again, although there are a few outliers that are in positive territory today, most of which is coming on the back of positive earnings. Still, more than 2% to the downside now for the S&P. Back over to Neil.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. I was just mentioning to you guys in the chat, talking about take your losers off quickly. Of course, that tight range that was on that VXRT does not break to the upside, but you risk about 5 to try and make 20 or so when it comes to cents on that name. Smile Direct Club, it gives you that consolidation between VWAP and that 45 that we mentioned. We worked our position at both the top end and the bottom end, tried to get more shares here at 480 in the middle, wasn't able to do so on the way down, but we're already taking some off here. We just took some off at 72, some off at 70. Now that you have the VWAP break, you're firmly with that retracement, you're firmly with the momentum to the downside and this little trend that it's putting on. Worth mentioning that 468 half, that is actually the previous close, so that's a bit of a target out. That's why we're taking some shares off in front of it. I want to be half out or so in front of that price. If it flushes through and turns negative on the day while the futures are under pressure, fantastic for us in this nicely structured short here. Smile Direct, again, it's only done about a couple of million shares, and it's been a slower move, but you talk about the structure of the trade. We gave you that setup. Plenty of time for you to be able to get in, and now you reap the rewards as momentum comes to the downside with the overall market. So that short working out for us. We still have TRNX that's in the money for us. Codex, still below that 14 mark, basically flat on the session. But right now, Smile Direct on the move, looking to turn negative on the day, and we got the short.
My mic back on there and get another coffee. Thank you, Valeria. Get refilled up, and now we'll sit here and try to make some more money for you guys. Microsoft, Uber, Work, and XOM, the only 3-4 positions I have on, and we're going to try to find some more for you. JP Morgan, I've been getting crushed on you lately, so why not check it out now? JP Morgan down 1.69%, a little stronger than the market, it seems like, although if you line up these charts, like look at this move, up here, that's going to be this move down, and then you come back down here in the S&P, and JP Morgan breaking through VWAP right here. This may be a good name to look at. Let's check it out on a 3-minute chart quickly here, see where the VWAP is on that same little spot here. So we are breaking down on JP Morgan. This may be a good trade if it does break through 90 here right now, but needless to say, guess where we're short Microsoft? 171, guys. It's at 169.60, $1.40 winner right there. So we hit the cash register. I may just take this off. We have, like I said, we have 4 positions on, all of which are more than $1 winner, minus Uber's 30 cents in the money. But right now, Microsoft going downside, 3 for 4 now, 3 of these stocks, $1+ winners. Let's check out Roku, as that's a name that always moves as well. We haven't looked at that today, as Microsoft making its way back up. The futures maybe have fallen down a little bit too much here. We're bouncing off 27.50. This is probably a good spot to get out of some of these shorts and maybe even play a long bounce here as we bounce off 27.50.
Sean, as you say that, Arun had that 27.40 level. We're bouncing off 27.50. You look at IBM, twice it has bounced off VWAP here, right at that 114 mark. I feel like it's going to be worth the shot here on a tight stop. If we bounce again, you're probably talking at least a bit of a dollar retracement. Well, you're only risking about 20 to 30 cents, which is the structure I like. We're going to take a shot here. I only have a long in Tiffany, which is a bit of a different play, being, of course, a leveraged buyout to trading away from its price. Everything else is short, so I want some exposure in case we have a bounce. IBM is a good place, I think, to get it on a retracement. So let's jump into some shares of IBM and see if we can't work this one in front of that 114 mark. So we'll pick some up, here in front of 114.50. I'd love to be able to add to it at the lower end of the range with a 114 stop at VWAP. That works for me. If we can retest that top that we were short before, that's an 80 cent to $1 win. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You talked about those levels. If we can't even get to 27.40 at all, why not play that bounce long, which could come?
Look, I mean, work, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we need to do. Look at these names that are moving around, including work right now, guys. This is $1.25, $1.35 in the money. We are short 28.44. So you got 20 on the bid there. So Neil, IBM dollar, great move there. We have $1.25 right here as well, $1.45, sorry, on work. We're going to wait to see how this does break down through $27. And in order to do that, we got to look at a little bit of a longer time frame here. Here's a daily chart on work. There really isn't anything in here to give me an idea of where to stop. We did bounce off of 27.04 2 days ago, so I don't mind that as a breakdown point. So if we can break through 27, then we'll probably use 27 again as our out spot. But I'm debating right now dumping some of this because I noticed that has been the bottom. It was right here as well, 27 even. So nothing wrong with taking out a clean $1.30 on work, and we may just do that right now, guys.
I see some of you guys mentioning USO, their big size. I was going to tell you Codex is really slow to move here. We've been in the money the entire time on this trade. It just can't seem to get itself going. Look, there's size on USO, and that's all well and good, but this is what it looks like a lot. And I think when something is trading 300 million shares there, Greg, you have to temper your expectations to what constitutes a lot of size on the offer. So as much as we like to look at when there's big buyers and sellers, I'm going to hesitate to put too much weight on it when it comes to USO. It will chew through 1 million shares like that, like a knife through butter. So I'm not too worked up about size there. Watch the overall futures here as, whoa, we are testing that 27.50. So I'm going to have to watch out with that IBM position just a little bit. I don't want to give it too much room past that 114 mark. We did have an average price here, 114.30. I talked about risking anywhere from 20 to 30 cents. It will be that 30 plus some slippage. Thankfully, we have 3 shorts and 1 real long on, so we are more exposure to the south side here, but I wanted to have something long in case we got that VWAP bounce. IBM's what I picked, but we're in the money on Codex short, we're in the money on Smile Direct short, and TRNX short. So 3 shorts, 1 long. Brendan, what do you got for us?
Name with an upgrade today, a price target increase. FLIR coming back to the downside here. Looks like it finally got to a top just before this 44 even level. Just starting to break through this 43 on FLIR. It's come from 41 today. So if it's going to make a move to the downside, might give you an opportunity on the short side. FLIR, guys.
FLIR. You want to talk about the short side? Yeah, FLIR. You've mentioned that a couple times, Brendan, so we definitely have to look at that. But here we go. I mean, this Microsoft position we have on is short. I mean, we can call it up here. Let's put it on the board here. I won't turn around. We'll just see if we can't put this on the board. Was it going to cover my face or cover the screen? Here we go, guys. 179. Look at this short. This is a $2 now winner on Microsoft, so that's a good one. Uber, same kind of story here. Uber just continues to tick down. That's 30 pennies in the money. We got out of our work, and our XOM is now $1 in the money. So we have 3 positions, and all of them are just absolutely destroying everything right now. So look at Uber, guys. We are still short right now. I just tweeted that out. Shout out to Downtown Josh Brown there. Maybe he'll retweet that on Slack. He's been calling this as a long, but we just destroyed it short side. I got out just before 27. Looks like 27 might break. We may take that short again. Some decent size right here, but the money just keeps raining in here, guys. What a monster day for yours truly. I hope you guys are having it as well. Shoot, there goes work. We left a little bit on the table there, but like they say, pigs get slaughtered. Either way, we're reining in the money. More money today.
There goes 114 on Microsoft. There goes 27.50. We're about to test that level for Maroon, guys. So a bit of a rollover in the futures here. If we can break through that low, I'm positioned to the short side. That could give you some fantastic downside potential. You guys talked about where do you take profits. I just took some on that TRNX. You had so much opportunity to get into this trade. We first gave it a 10.15. It didn't actually break through 29 until just now. So 30 minutes to be able to get into this one. We did work into it. First level of profit taking was at that 28 mark. That's going to give you 1.5 to 2. Your target is going to get 4. So there's your first level of an out. We talked about IBM here. The test of 27.40 is going to be key. Sean's got some shorts on. This is where you might consider holding on for the bigger win. If this level gets taken out, watch out below. Arun gave this to you. This is why you tune in at 9 a.m. every single morning, to get stocks to look at, to get levels to look at, to be prepared. And what better way to do that in the overall market with Money Talks and Brendan Wickens.
Just realized the chart that I'm going to show you is a little bit lagging, so bear with me here. But I want to talk about the pound today. British pound to the downside, more than 1%, 1.2%. They had some employment data and jobless claims data out this morning. Actually came out better than expected, so fewer applying for jobless claims in the UK over the past week than expected. But still, 1.2% for the pound here today to the downside, 122. It's actually trading about here, so big move down for the pound if you have a look at that chart. So a nice kind of consolidation underway. We're back to the low end of the range if you go out to a chart, a little bit higher time frame, but 122 coming into play again for the British pound today. Euro is also negative, just barely though, 108 and change. Canadian dollar back below 71 cents. So US dollar a little bit strong today, pushing our CAD back to the downside. Obviously, the oil effect coming into play here. Canadian economy heavily tied to the energy sector. So 70 and change, down about 0.4%. Japanese yen's positive. Swiss franc also positive. Both the New Zealand dollar and Australian dollar significantly lower again today as well. 59, yeah, it did break 60 for New Zealand there. Once again, back below it. Aussie still holding above 62 cents. Cryptocurrencies have been pretty quiet. Bitcoin did open lower today or traded lower overnight, 6,800. We were above 7,000 yesterday. So that percentage going to be a little bit skewed, but 6,800 to the downside for Bitcoin today, guys. That's a look at some currency pairs. Back to you.
And cowbells, guys. I mean, the biggest winner, obviously, today. I think I have all of them pretty much on board right now. XOM $1.50 in the money. Look at this Microsoft, Neil. I don't know where to get out. You've mentioned some key levels there on the futures, maybe 27.40. We bounced, but Microsoft, I don't know if there's news on this. This is a $4 winner right now. So hit the slap shot, guys. We just continue to go. Here's $4 right now. There's $4. We're short 170.93 on Microsoft. Ding, 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 all the way to the downside. Unfortunately, we would have way more shares, but we took a 30-cent hit on the first bit of our shares. But here we go back down. $4 now in the money on Microsoft. $1.50 on the long now as XOM keeps coming back to the high. Follow me on Twitter, guys. We're posting all of these trades. We're just huge today, Neil. And I know you have that SDC short. That's a big trade as well. So everything making money for us, guys. The fun just continues. Thanks for joining on. We just continue to cowbell these for you. Wow.
I'm just going to have a quick look at this bottom on SDC before we throw to Brendan here. We had that pre-market low at 450, and when you get that break at 480, you have to start trimming your position. You got to take some profit off. So I am now down to about 10% left. If it breaks the low, fantastic, we'll have some on. I'm going to trail this one all the way back into 470 and just hang on for dear life. Brendan, what do you got?
Just a little news story here for that Microsoft. It's just after 10 o'clock, yeah, about 10:13. They announced a big open data push for artificial intelligence. That's really it as far as news anywhere later on in the morning, in fact, for Microsoft. But a lot of these tech names, kind of grinding to the downside at this point, guys.
I mean, Uber's now a 50-cent winner. Microsoft's $4. I mean, look at this Uber trade, guys. I mean, 27.76. We're just sitting on these. Shout out to Arun telling me to hold these longer because every day I'm having these huge winners, and we try to scalp out a little bit too long. So shout out there for holding this a little bit longer. And this is what you need, man. You need to learn from some of the traders around, and I hope you guys are doing that because look at Softy. I mean, we just keep holding this one. $4.25 in the money. Oh, Canada. We just keep making the money on some of these stocks, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. It's been a monster show for us today. Almost 900 people viewing this, 270 likes. Thanks so much for that. We do have also, guys, coming up, heavy time hitters here. Timothy Riley, Charles Cassis, if you can come to my screen. There we go. Yeah, thanks, guys. Guests of the day, guys, from the NYSE, Senior Director, Institutional Equities, Director of Trading Floor Operations. Doesn't get any bigger than this, other than the trades, I guess, gets a little bit bigger than this. But these guests, 11:50 join us. If you sleep on this one, that's a huge mistake. Wow, Softy just keeps going down, Neil. This is a parade.
Yeah, I mean, these shorts are fantastic. I got 4 of them on here. We're going to just try to update the board for you guys so you can see what we are working with here. So I'm going to throw it up for you guys. We had that Codex. I actually just took some out there for 30 cents. We got a 13.86 short there. We got out there at 56, I believe, right on that little bit. We're going to hang on to the rest for the low. IBM still short on that 4.14 break. That's only the money 25 cents. We've traded that one to the upside for some wins. First short we've had on in that. TRNX, we're starting to work that one off, of course, that 30 cent short. Smile Direct, like I said, we're hanging on for that last little bit, trailing it to 470. Of course, that 480 short, our last entry was at 483. So I find myself in all shorts. You did see that Tiffany's long there. I wish it would have fallen down with the market so I can buy more in my 128 to 128.50 target range. If it gets into that price, I'm reloading. You can bank on that.
We're going to get out of some Uber right now if we can. 27.19 would be fine for me, and we'll take a quick 58 cents on this, and then we'll hold a very small left. So we're going to get out of some Uber. I mean, what a great drop this is downside. We are bouncing off that 27.40. So let's take some profits on these ones. I don't know where to get. I mean, I've been letting this Microsoft just drop all the way. I'm wondering about this little candle here. This is a 1 minute candle. It's never overtaken the previous 1 minute candle all the way up. So let's take this as our out, maybe even 167.50. I don't like this green candle right here. So we'll take out, oh well, only a $3.50 winner. We'll take that out there if we can get that on Microsoft. But here it comes right back down, back to $4 land. So what's up with that? XOM as well at the day's high. It's been bouncing around here, $42. So we may just take this out for a $1.37 winner. What a monster day, guys. Thanks for joining us. The winners are abound. Check our profits at the bottom. You're seeing everything add up, guys. Myself and Neil, it's rolling through there. Check those out, and hopefully you're having a good time with us trading some of these names.
Yeah, speaking of these shorts, look, you're in the money on shorts in a market like this when we're heading down to that 27.40. You can't say enough that Arun was talking about. If we bounce off of here, you don't want to let those winning trades turn into losers. So have some ideas of where you want to get out. For me, I'm looking at IBM, that 114 mark to cover that one. I think we're okay with our Codex. It's going to be a little bit different and not follow the market quite as tightly there. So that should be safe to hang on to. And of course, I talked about the trail in Smile Direct. But Brendan, what do you have again?
I feel like the penny stocks, guys, seeing some energy names bouncing back to the upside here. Whiting Petroleum, they received a non-compliance order from the NYSE yesterday. Looks like they're moving higher a little bit here, 5.5% on the day. Broke through this high here, 35 cents. Huge volume spike. So consolidating now. If you like the penny stocks, WLL moving higher, guys.
Yeah, definitely worth a look. A name that we were watching yesterday that I haven't even taken a look at, and I'm going to be kicking myself over this one, is going to be Facebook. I mean, 175 break, VWAP consolidation, secondary push here. It's just getting absolutely crushed. So we're going to have this one on our radar. This could be an interesting play. When we break that 27.40 like I talked about, where's the relative weakness? What do you want to be in? I already have a lot of exposure to the short side like I know Sean does as well, but I want to be hunting for some other names that have moved that maybe we've missed out on. So add Facebook to the list of tech names that's getting crushed this morning under a lot of pressure. We're now down almost 3.5% on the NASDAQ, so weakness abounds. You guys talked about Apple. I'm short IBM here. You got to have some exposure to the south side on these tech names. That's been the play.
I mean, these trades are monstrous now that I have on, and Neil as well. I mean, Uber here is 70. I mean, look at what Uber just. I'm short 28 right here, 28.44, guys. Uber short. No, sorry, this is work. Where's Uber? I was gonna say 20. I wish I was still short this one. We did cover work. That was only a $1.40 winner. My bad on that one. Look at Uber, guys. Now breaking down below. We're at this 27 mark. This could be a good out for us here if we did want it, but we're short 27.80. Just keeps falling down. Uber, all the way back down here. I posted on the chat. Do you guys think we get a $5 winner here on Microsoft? Can it keep going? Can we get to 166? Let's check out a daily chart. This is already a $4.50 winner. Maybe I'm being greedy here, but you can see we did stall down here at 165 the last couple days. So I am thinking that we can get to this spot. 166, it would be $5 winner. So we're very, very happy with everything here. And right there, XOM taking out the day's high. So we hit arrow up, we hit cowbells, guys. We're making more money than we have all day here today at our highest spot. XOM just keeps going. Wow, 42 and change. So that might have been a spot to get out, guys. Yesterday we had some consolidation, 42.20. Then we had a problem busting it out. So I'm going to put an order here, 42.15 or so. See if we can't take a clean $1.70 on XOM. So $5 winner Microsoft, $1 Uber, $1.50 XOM. That's what we have.
Sean, I was just looking at that Microsoft. It actually might make sense trailing to 167.50. But then again, every time I use a trailing stop when I'm deep in the money, I feel like I'm giving up like 25 to 30% of the profit. So that's what it is, but it's a good level. You almost can't lose, and there's no wrong decisions necessarily when you take out a winner. But I'm having a similar discussion with myself here on this IBM. It's a potential breakdown at 113.50, and we already have have shares on board. So I can add to it on this little break and then maybe give it still to that 114 mark. We just broke 8,400 on the NQ. The ES took out 2740. I'm not seeing a heck of a lot of reason to cover any of these shorts, Sean. Maybe if we break above 114 on IBM, we're going to still get out of that trade. Everything else we're going to be hanging on to. So I just talked about Facebook. We'll look for that one. You're not going to get a retrace. Forget about it. We're in absolute free fall in these markets now. One thing that we haven't done, or at least I haven't done, is go back and look at what's happening in crude. Still below that $15 mark on the June contract. Not worth looking, of course, at the current. It's not going to be useful to us for the time being. But we have IBM now at an average price of 113.67. I'd love to add one more time if it holds this target range of 114. You're looking for a bigger flush or hitting a home run trade, and then you're going to have more like a 30-cent stop in terms of risk, which really isn't even a lot. So the chance that it tests that low, fantastic. Maybe a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio on something which might have moved a little bit later than the rest of the market.
Yeah, I'm going to get out at 160. Yeah, I mean, good look there on IBM. But yeah, home run trade, $1 for that one. We're going to wait for this one to come through on Microsoft. And I'm sort of going to give it up here. If Microsoft does come back through 167 here, we're going to get out and we'll hit the fireworks for a $4 plus winner on this one. We're going to give it to 167. Hopefully we get to 165 and we can cash in on that one. So yeah, anyways, it's been such a big day for us today, guys. We have big guests coming in less than an hour, but for right now, let's throw it to Valeria for the European update.
Hey guys, and welcome to the European update. Well, Europe is in a 50 shades of red today. Britain is down 2.19%. Germany is down 2.95%. France is down 2.66%. Italy is down 2.04%, and Spain is down 2.02%. Some quick updates from Europe. UK restricts olive trees import to halt the infection. The non-company withdraws 2020 guidance as the first quarter sales rise. That's all for now, and I'll keep you updated. Back to traders.
Yeah, good job there at Ken Lin there for a nice little trade on IBM. Nice to see you guys taking that profit. And there it is. We conclude our Microsoft trade out at 167 for a clean four. Actually, it's $3.89 winner. So that's the biggest trade right there as we hit a green. This is for the market green, but the market's not going green. That's the biggest trade there of the day today by far. Nice little 171 break. You can see, guys, it's so well structured. You break this 171 here on some momentum, and then you just ride it all the way down, crush that and get out of there without any damage done and a lot of money being made. Okay, Uber, we talked about that one, 26.90. There should be something coming up here on Uber. I'm just waiting to see here. Maybe this is a 3-minute chart. So as you can see, we are coming back up here. Let's put it back to a quick 1-minute chart here on Uber just to see if we can't scalp. Yeah, I mean, this is already a pretty strong move back upside here, even though the futures, guys, still failing. So, I mean, the futures with a nice little move back upside. This may be a good opportunity to average into some Ubers here and take some more shorts. So not a horrible spot. Maybe you give it to this 27.50 area, but 27.25 on Uber. Those of you that are just joining us, thank you so much. We don't just trade on this one chart. If you're wondering, this is a 1 minute, a 3 minute. I'll flash back and forth. But if you guys can go to my side camera here, if you do have it up at all. Thank you guys. Yeah, this one. Hey guys. You can also hopefully soon buy merch, used coffee cups. No, yours will be a clean one. Okay, you can see we have different charting time frames. I have oil up here. I have a couple quote boards going on, a few things flicking over here. This is the icon terminal as well, so we can get some more news, some chat, some different things going on here. So you got to be prepared. This is what my trading station looks like. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monitors, but primarily using these 4 as Brendan goes back and forth with some of the icon stuff on here. So that's my terminal right now. And yeah, so I look at about 6 or 7 charts as we go. And here's Uber failing, like we mentioned. So Uber coming back down to 27 downside. I like this, taking this out here for a 75-cent winner on Uber if we can get back near 27.
I think we're ready for Valeria, but I sit back down, took a bit of a bathroom break. Thank you for holding it down there, Sean. But just got some IBM out there at 113.26, so that continues to slide to the downside. Still going to be shorting in front of 114, but it is time to go to Brendan at the desk.
Interesting look on an energy name here, guys. Antero Resources looking like it might want to test lower prices here, 180 to 185. Really, really tight little consolidation throughout most of the morning after an early move to the upside. Really strong yesterday, obviously, but if 180 goes, I mean, 140, 130, really the next kind of levels for AR, guys.
And there goes Codex. We'll floss this one off because I love doing the dance that I can't do, so my avatar does it for me. We just broke the opening range low at 13.40, so I've already taken profits. We're house money here with a 30-cent win on a bit of it here, but once it breaks that low, it's going to be trailing stop time. We're going to hang on to this one for dear life as the market continues to flush. And we kept saying this over and over again, and I hope you guys understand that, look, if you've played any longs, you get out of your longs for those tight stops, you hang on to your shorts, use a trailing stop, look for the home runs. However your approach is to hang on to shares, whether it's the trail, manually watching it, maybe you have an indicator that you love to use like an RSI, I don't really care, as long as when you see a move like this to the downside, you're allowing yourself to get some bigger wins here when you have these shorts on. So I waited patiently for Codex. It's a nice, easy trend. It didn't even matter that we're late to the party. Once it was below VWAP, we looked for that entry point, got that consolidation below 14 even, jumped into it. When we mentioned the short, there was ample time to get in. I actually tried to add to it, wasn't able to get those shorts if you're aggressive. Could have had the same price as I did 7 minutes later, and now you're getting that break of the low of the day and continuing to flush.
Yeah, great look there. IBM's been absolutely fantastic, and SDC, some of those Codex, wow, great little name there to the downside for sure. You got to get some of those flushes to top off your day, so that's a good one. Okay, I'm looking at work now. I'm thinking about going long on this name here. This is Slack, of course, work.ny down 8%. I'm just kind of looking that we've made a little bit of a bottom here. You guys can see again, I'll just put this little ellipse here, well, if I can. There we go. The bottom is 26.50. So I think a long 27 probably is worth it here. So if we can grab this long on a break back to the upside, it's tried a couple times. This is just if the market goes. I mean, if the market goes, then I do think obviously work can go with it. But right now, it's not going to be a huge position. We were very huge on this short here. It's easier to go bigger share size, and this is just, I guess, a tip here. If you're going with the market, I mean, look at this. It pays off when you take these shorts and you take bigger shares. You saw that $4 winner on Microsoft, and you see some of the trades there on IBM. If you're trading with the market here, then it just creates such an easier time. You saw Uber as well. I mean, my largest stock still remains Coke because we crushed that one off the open, and that was a short as well. But I'm looking for Slack to take out this 27 spot here, and then we'll run it to the upside. That may happen right now. So if you like this with me, let's take work, aka Slack. Just remember, guys, it's about a 5 or 6 cent spread. So as it breaks through 27 here, you got to get maybe a little aggressive, cross up like 10 cents, I would say, on this one.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at that TRNX. That's been a slow one for us, but that's absolutely fine. I mean, a winning trade is going to be a winning trade, and the market's going with you. Talk about the trend being your friend. This is a very slow trend, but you can play a trend like this. You can either be reloading on bounces to the upside, but you know what? If you can't catch any kind of a retracement up, that means your short is absolute gold. I'm still holding on to about 70% of my position. And you guys asked about the structure of how you get out of trades. And I mentioned that I wanted this flush here into the 27 to 27.50 mark to get out of more shares. So every even dollar level where there's massive size, about 100 to 200,000 shares in the bid, you slide in front of that, take some off. 26 is your ultimate target. That's what we're going to be working with here. So TRNX, fantastic yesterday. Not quite as good today, but when you have a nice easy trend like this and the market's falling off a cliff, it's not that hard to just play along and be carried along for the ride. Codex in the money, 63 cents. We're about to get our 10% return that we asked for on TRNX on half of our position here, which we still have on. IBM was a good win. I actually took that one off there. So story done on IBM in front of 113. And then, of course, Smile Direct Club, which, you know, I'm hanging on to this one to try and catch a bit of a home run. It is seeming somewhat unlikely that it's going to test that 450 mark and break through. It turned negative on the day. I got it above VWAP for a short. How much more can you ask for? It's probably asking a lot to get more than 450, so I'll probably park the rest of this in front of that low of the day and see if we can't grab that.
And here goes Whiting. So I get the fireworks there. I see Adam on the chat. Great little call there. Look at this, the Brendan Wickens special, guys. Breaking this 39 and bang. all the way up here, 44. Great little runner. I hope you guys are trading this as I see you guys are. Absolutely fantastic job there for anybody looking to trade that name. Whiting to the moon. We'll see how long that lasts. We do take Apple to the long side right now, 269.79 right here. Apple, we reverse that to the long. Let's see if these futures can keep going with it. If not, we're not going to hold this one very long, guys. I'm not taking big risk long, but I think it's worth it. It's just setting up right now for some long trades. So we're into long Apple. Brendan, what you got?
Guys, we were looking at Shopify a little bit yesterday. Got to all-time highs yesterday. Another one set this morning right off the bat. But look at this reversal all the way back to 580, kind of pre-market levels from yesterday. Huge move down from 660 to 580. We'll go from 30 cents on Whiting to $600. Shopify very weak today, guys.
Just having a quick look at, you guys are talking about Netflix on the way to the downside. If you're looking for names that I think are relatively strong, Netflix, of course, has been one. We're rounding out in the futures a little bit. So what I'm looking for on the ES, at least, when you talk about that 2740, would probably be if we can hold that range and then break above the key price. And I'll tell you what the problem's going to be. If you're playing tech, you can forget about that. It's just a bigger slide to the downside. So while normally you'd be looking for it just to retake 2740 and we jump into some longs, but if it's going to be in a NASDAQ name like a Netflix, you really need to see this free fall abate a little bit and catch a move to the upside. So that's probably going to be 8400, 8420. I think Netflix is a good place to jump in if we can make a bottom. It hasn't happened yet. So for me, I'm still only short and hanging on. Valeria, what do you have?
Hey guys, hello everyone who just joined us, and a lot of comments from you like who is who, because this is a live trading show and we are throwing to each other. So now I'm going to introduce traders to you. First of all, I'm Valeria. I'm always on the chat talking to you and trying to be helpful and entertainment. Now meet Mr. Sean on the left of my side. This is Sean. I'm here. Now meet Trader Neil. He's on my right. And welcome Mr. Brandon in front of me. So yeah guys, welcome everyone who just joined us. This is our amazing team. We also have a beautiful production team. So guys, please hit the thumbs up, support the show. Traders are very experienced, but our show is relatively new to YouTube. That's why we need your support. And we need just around 90 likes to get 400. Can we do that? Just 1 hour left till the end of the show. So guys, go and hit the thumbs up and subscribe for our channel. And stay tuned. We have Mr. Charles and Mr. Can you remind me?
Tim Riley.
Timothy from New York Stock Exchange. So stay tuned.
Great call there, Valeria. Yeah, thanks for the shout out. If you haven't known who we are, there's only 3 of us plus Valeria. And yeah, big shout out to Rob and Lucas on the 1s and 2s there. And some guy named Randy that I see every once in a while. What's up, Randy? Okay, here we go. And bang it out on Tesla. There we go, guys. It doesn't matter the stock. I'm here for you guys. We just continue to crush this. We take 702. We take 706. Average price 704. We get out there 701.90. So that's a bang. Tesla right now, $5. Bye-bye, Tesla. Huge crash here on Tesla, guys. Big time winner. This is a monster trade. This is a $10 winner right now on Tesla. You want your action clips. You want the $10 winners. Here we go. Tesla to the downside. I'm short 706, guys. And bang, there it is. That's a $10 winner, Neil. How do you like them apples?
Nothing wrong with a Tesla short in there. The market continuing its flush. I'm hanging on to all the shorts that we have here. I just mentioned to you guys, sliding some stops off, and I'm also jumping back into Watt at this 360 to 375 range. It's giving you a setup and a consolidation. And what do you think is going to happen when people start seeing these positions dump off? They're going to look at the names which are high risers here and maybe have to take some of those profits, up 250%, consolidating lower. You got to look for places where you can add to your short positions and some places to jump in. I think Watt's giving you that setup. I also talked about sliding my stop in Codex. When you're hanging on to a home run trade, a lot of things you can do here. You could get out in front of 13 and then take that profit, maybe get back in if it breaks and makes lower lows, or you can slide a trailing stop. I've gone from 13.50 to 13.30. That looks in 50 cents. Of profit. We're in the money 75 on this one, so I love Codex. If we break 13, we're probably going to get a 10% win on that one as long as we break 13 even. And again, we have not stopped. The futures continue to slide to the downside. We're still below 8,400 on the NASDAQ. You're not really seeing a lot of signs to take off these short winners, so might as well hang on, guys.
Yeah, I wish I would have hung on to that one because look at this Tesla, guys. It doesn't get any better than this. I hope you're on board with some of those trades here. Tesla, we take 702, hoping it breaks 700. It doesn't. It regroups back up. We short again, and look at this thing just falling apart. We take, this is a $2 winner. Then this is an $11 winner. Now look where we're going downside. Boo, boo, boo. We missed that trade, but look, guys, we're going to continue to celebrate our day. It just keeps rocking, rolling. The only trade we have on right now is this Uber trade, guys, and look where we're short, 27.76. I don't think I have less than $1 winner today on many of these stocks, so we've just been absolutely monstrous today as we just keep on going, guys. You want the winners, follow us. What a fantastic day. I can't say any more about this day. I wish I just would have held on to some of that Tesla. My Microsoft here on the downside as well. We get out there 167. Notice the Apple trade. This one we tried the long here, 169.70. We get out 168 on that. Oh, sorry, 269, not 169. 269. So we take a 70-cent hit there before turning around and taking 10 bucks, 12, actually $14 there on Tesla. But look at Microsoft, guys.
If you heard me bang the table, some of you guys were mentioning here, yeah, we want to know when you get in and why. And as I'm sitting there talking, and I said this yesterday, guys, a lot of times you can sit there talking and take the execution first, and you need to do that. We talked about the level on Watt. You had ample time to get it. I was running my mouth about Codex when it broke 360, and they're already moved 10%, so forget about that one. You know, it's a nice call, but you got to get the shares on there, and we're talking about Codex. Brendan, what do you got for us? Give us something good.
I'm just going to update this oil market, guys. Just went back to the May contract here just to check. Tough to see, but we actually went positive again on the May contract. Obviously expiring today, so volume non-existent, but this thing was negative, like significantly negative yesterday afternoon, and has gone back to positive territory for the May contract of crude, guys.
May, you say? Okay, yeah, I see that crude right now. If you want to check it out, let's go. CL for us. This is our what do you call it? The way we do this functionality here for the symbology. That's what I'm looking for. CLM20. So we're down right now on the M contract. We're down to 14 bucks. But like Brendan said here, on the day coming back to life here, we still are down from 21 and change. But as you can see here, when we opened up right around this price, we made a bottom 13.80. So I think there's something to look out for there in this contract. I only have Uber short, and it's $1 in the money. I may just chill out before I have a heart attack. So it's been a great day.
Sean, there's nothing wrong with chilling out. I look over at the NASDAQ here. Since the 8,600 break and failed to retest, you're talking about 250 handles to the downside without any stopping. So I'm chilling out in Codex here, and it just broke 13, so we're nearly $1 in the money on that stock, and it's been fantastic for us. I'm still hanging on to Smile Direct. Zero reason to be getting out of any of these for the time being. Yeah, we missed out on that trade in Watt to the south side, but at least we talked about it and gave you the opportunity to get in. I know some of you guys are looking at it. I really do hope you took that trade. Almost anything you take to the short side is going to be working. The only thing I'm going long in, it's a bit of a different structured trade, is back into my target range in Tiffany. I asked for the market to go down so I could buy some more. That's exactly what it did for me. So every once in a while you make a wish and your wish is granted. I'll be picking up shares in the 128 to 128.50 range. But Codex continues to slide to the downside. It was a fantastic entry. Whether you got it at VWAP or waited for some consolidation below, it doesn't matter. Now $1.10 in the money. The market giving it away today. And the weird thing about it is it's been such a clean move to the downside. You don't see that very often. You got to take advantage when it happens.
And yes, guys, today, yeah, big move. I mean, Codex there. That Codex used to be a penny stock, obviously, before all this started.
Be nice if it was again.
Yeah, I wish it was again, too, for a big win there. Okay, guys, Timothy Riley, Charlie Cassis. I can't just keep saying this enough because part of our show is education, guys, and you don't get any bigger. Find me somebody else. I see some of people talking about some other of our not competitors, but other people in this game. Let me see if they even have anybody on like this. I don't think so. So no. We are huge here, guys. We continue to rock and roll. I just tweeted out the Tesla trade. I'm happy with the $14 winner, but yeah, it went down as far as 673. Yikes, guys. I was short 707 at the top. What's up, Bren?
UCO, guys, we mentioned this one, another ETF that you can have a look at to kind of follow along with oil. Right back at this low. We're kind of bouncing a little bit here, but I think it was 22.50 was a bit of a pivot here. It's come down here 1, 2, 3, 4 times even and tested this level. So watch out below if we do get another push to the downside. Tough to see this reverse split. That's not up 1,500%, but right at that key support level looks like for UCO, guys.
And you know what? You talk about maybe taking some targets here, and for me, I see 83.50. I see the biggest bounce I've seen yet in the market, and it's going to be the end of the party for me in Codex. It's down 13%. I just took this one off, getting shares out at 12.62. So it's almost $1.25. It's $1.24, but we're not going to split hairs on that one. It's exactly that sort of 10% return that we're looking to pick up there, guys. So Codex party is done for me. We're still working out a TRNX. It's only about a penny away from that being that 26 target that we wanted. It's already given you the 10% if that's what you were looking for a bit more, and I still have about 30% of that trade onto the short side. Smile Direct, and again, you know, we're sort of hoping to hit a home run here on that Smile Direct. We didn't really aggressively get out or pull back, add shares on the pullback. We just hung on to the 10% we have left, looking for it to bottom. You're seeing it round out here. Probably a good reason to move our trailing stop from 70 to 60. At that point, locking in about 20 cents there, or 4% return on Smile Direct. That was a nice little break. The futures are trying to make a bit of a bounce here. We're going to find some places to maybe go long. I talked a little bit about Netflix. Let's have a look at that one in just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I have. I mean, MRNA here now down 12%. So I think I like this long here near this 46 mark, maybe 45.80 and change. We're going to try MRNA long on this name, and we're only going to give it back down to 45. I know sometimes this has bad wicks, but here comes MRNA. We'll try to take this long and see if we can't get back into this 48.50 range or so on this one. And here it comes. Looks like we'll get triggered in very soon if we can break through 45.80 right here on MRNA. We'll see about this 46.10 would be the first level of resistance up here, and then we'll wait to see what happens past that. But MRNA, we could get into this one very soon. As Ian and I both looking to catch some longs. And yeah,
which could be crazy. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's crazy. I mean, the market bounces off. I mean, we have a level here, 27, 25. All these quarters continue to be very key. So we'll see, but you never know. I mean, MRNA here is a big mover, so that could be a problem. We could look at Microsoft. I mean, that's my best stock. Like I said, pretty much. What is this level? 167.50. I just like this recovery. If the market goes 167.50 on that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the low here myself here. I'm just mentioning guys in the chat about Netflix, and I mentioned this one as a name that we try to pick up if we bottom picked, and as we bounce off that 83.50, this is going to be the place that I'm going to jump in. We're trying to retake this 428. We can go with a couple of levels here. Either you use this higher low that got put in at 426 and only give it a couple of bucks, or you give it to the low of day, and then you give yourself about 250 worth of room. I think it's a little bit more prudent to open up your stop. You can't try to pick the bottom, or at least go long in a name that you think is relatively strong, without being willing to risk a little bit more here, guys. So I think we're probably risking anywhere around $3 on Netflix to see if we can't get a retracement to at least this 432 level. That was a bit of a double resistance point on the little bounce back to the upside. So that's what we're working with. Netflix, a fantastic opportunity. We have the long here at 428. We'll give this one to the low of the day. I'm looking at the NASDAQ trying to bounce. I keep talking about the NQ. We'll show it to you here. This is the most significant bounce we've seen since we've had this entire flush down at about 9 o'clock, when we made a little bit of a move here, 40-50 handle move back up. It was a clean move through 8,500. It's been 250 handles to the downside. NASDAQ down 3.5%. We're looking for that little bounce opportunity. I also gave another one to you guys, and I said, hey, market slide down so I can pick up more Tiffany. If you didn't do it, I don't know what to say to you. We like this one right off the open in our target range at 128.50, all the way back up to 129. It comes back in. We grab that long once again, and now we're marching right back into what I think should be all day long consolidation between about 128.90 and 129.20 or 30 or so. So you'd be in the money if you had that one. I hope you followed along.
Yeah, exactly. I know Tiffany's probably a good look there, and obviously that's a buyout, so you guys will trade that differently, and Neil explaining that for sure. So good job there. We do go long Moderna. It does break. I did have some mic issues, so we went and fixed that. We missed a little bit of a bump to 46.25 here, so I wouldn't mind taking out a third. Those of you guys that watch the show, we do talk all the time. How much do they take off? Where do they take this trade? Like I said, I have a target up here of 48.50, 49, something like that, but I don't mind when I first get in taking some risk off a little bit, right, guys? So 46.20 here. If we can scratch off a quick 50, 60 cents, we'll do that, and then we put it in our pocket to basically make sure that this trade works out for us. So, but here it comes back to the downside. We took a risk on Moderna. We may lose, and I'm going to try to take this off here, 44.80 or so, if it does wind up losing for us. But this could be our first, realistic losing trade of the day.
It's one of those things where you find you pick the turn or whatever you want to call it, and then you make all your money going short. I've done this before, and then you try to pick a top or a bottom, whatever it might be. And the best you can do in that situation is you're relieving some of those shorts and taking profits and looking for a bottom is at least pick something that you believe in with a nice little structure to it. I know what I'm working with here in this Netflix trade. I kind of have an idea exactly where I want to get out and what it's going to look like if we do that. So it's a good target entry. I like the risk to reward. You're not sort of blindly picking a bottom here, but you are picking something that you have some conviction in, allowing you to execute the trade without getting that sense of not FOMO, but that fear take you out of it now that you're counter trend for the first time, because really it's been only short for over an hour here, Sean. Basically only short for me, with the exception of Tiffany. Now that we're jumping into Netflix, you have to have something you're confident in.
Yeah, exactly, and we've just been short as well, and there's Uber comes out breaking through 27, so we get that little tick there off of this 27.80 short, so a nice little 70-80 cent winner there. Moderna, yeah, that one's still going. It's the only trade we have right now, and it's flat. This is where, we're long at 85, so we got 69 here on the bid, so we're going to wait to see if this one can, there we go, now we're back into the money, or flat if you take the offer, but Moderna, I'm going to put an order here, 46.25, my order's already waiting. We'll see if we can't get ticked out there for a quick 40 cents on that one, and then let the rest run. Hopefully we get back to 49. The other stock that I'm looking at, just if you guys want to get loaded up with me as well, if it does break, is Work. So I still like this one breaking through $27. It does go all the way to 26. Wow, what a short, 28.50. I wish I would have held it for 26 and change, but there it goes. Let's check back on Tesla. This was a $14 winner. Same kind of V-shaped recovery here. It's almost like an L almost, but we're going to wait to see if this one can't come back upside. Tesla. I don't want to go long any of these monster names though, guys. I'm happy with this long in Moderna, but I am not going to go long anything else except for Microsoft if we get to that 168 level, I believe. But this is Valeria's time to shine, and it's called In Focus. So here she comes, guys, Valeria.
Hey guys, welcome to In Focus. Some quick news updates in case you've missed. Well, stocks fell sharply on Monday, with Dow fell 2.5%, S&P 500 closed lower 1.8%, and NASDAQ fell 1% on Monday. U.S. crude prices also fell more than 100% on Monday and turned negative for the first time in history. The price of the nearest oil futures contract was hurt the most, and it expired on Tuesday. U.S. restaurants are on track to lose $240 billion by the end of 2020, according to National Restaurant Association survey. They also say that 4 out of 10 U.S. restaurants are closed, and 8 million of restaurant workers are laid off. Facebook launched a first map that tracking coronavirus symptoms county by county. The company says that it's going to update information daily. Also, Facebook says that 1 million people participated in surveys so far. But as you can see, there are still a lot of empty spaces on the map as there is not enough participants. That's all for today. Stay healthy and stay in focus. Back to guys.
I mean,
why do I try to bottom pick, Sean? If I just stick with the shorts, I'm telling you right now, it would be absolutely gangbusters. And sorry, not to cut you off there, but someone actually just asked about TRNX. I took off, like I mentioned, about 70% of this trade, actually 2/3 of it, in front of 27. It's coming back in. If you have the same 30 short that I was working with off of VWAP, I think you can give the rest to break even as long as you've taken profit. If you haven't taken any profit on the way down, you put yourself in a tight spot because you've let the nice little 10% win turn into less than half of that now, and you're put to a tough decision, Grace. So I hope you took some profit off, allowing you to give it to break even. That's why you have to have profit taking when you're working a position like that, especially in such a liquid name where volume and certain liquidity is not going to be a problem. There really isn't an excuse. If it's a more thinly traded name with less liquidity, then you got to be a little bit more one and done, 2 or 3 and done. But that's my idea there on TRNX. If you're still looking at it, you should have taken profit already.
And guys, I hope, good. TRNX, great name. I haven't traded any of these small guys today, but look at Moderna, guys. This is $1.50 in the money. I mean, what else can we do on this show? I gave you this trade long, 45.80. We take some out, 46.25 there. That's 40 cents. Now we rip up. We're $1 plus in the money. So we hit the bullseye right on the head on this one. We're going to wait. We could take some out right now if we wanted. Neil missed the long, but not this guy. So who has it right now? It's face slap, 47 longer. Let's see if we can't get out right around here. This is the kind of prices that we're talking about, 47.50. Maybe we'll take some out. We're still long 2/3 of this name. And yeah, the fun just keeps on going, guys. You might think that we're a little psychedelic here, but these trades are real. All of this money is getting cashed up right now and cashed in. But yeah, Valeria, do you like chicken? You do? Okay, well, here's a chicken dinner winner for you. $1.40 now in the money. So there you go, Valeria. We're going to see if we can't get this out top side right now. Here it comes. This is going to be $1.60. If we get this print, we're sitting right here at 47.40. I have no idea why. And there it is. Bang. Valeria, we go bullish on the market and turn it upside down. Boom. Just another money. Yeah, Polar V, we're making all the money. I hope you guys are as well. All of these trades. I mean, what do you want me to review? Tesla, huge $14 winner. I mean, I have everything on here today. It's been a fantastic day, including FRO, which was a small little name for us that we crushed early on. This is still
Hey, don't sleep on Frontier, man. They're a big shipper, and the tanker names, that's where it's all about, because as Brendan mentioned there, crude approaching $14, and that's why the tanker names are in play, because of storage. So this is that's why you have to pay attention. We talk about 9 o'clock. Jump in here. We do give you levels. We give you all the stocks that we're looking at. That's why you can see us jump into a name that we talked about and had a level for, and you didn't hear about it until we got the trade on. What you did hear about was me mentioning Netflix. If we're going to bottom pick, I like this name. We grabbed it in front of that low of the day. Breakout price at 28. Add inside of that range at 426.80. So 427.50-ish average price. First target is we break 430 and take some profit off. Then we're looking to hope to get to VWAP here in a retracement. So look, you can bottom pick all you want, but you have to have a level you're working off with. You don't want to get too stubborn, just randomly pick prices. Sean with a great look on Moderna. I've looked over here at Netflix, in the money a couple of dollars, looking for a bit more.
Yeah, good. Yeah, a couple dollars on Netflix is monstrous. So we'll just continue to trade this to the upside. Again, I didn't have time to update these charts, but we are long 45.85. So Moderna right now is a $2 winner. Neil, you got to take this as I open up another chart here.
Yeah, no problems, guys. We're right up at that $2.50 mark for Netflix. We take half of it off. That's the first target. Now we're looking to see if we can play with a little bit of house money. I still work off the low of the day at this point. One mistake that I've made with some of these names, and Sean, you mentioned talking to Arun and holding on to trades longer. I've been sort of, talking to myself and talking to a few other traders here. Shout out to Kevin in the chat there about trailing stops and when you should and shouldn't use them. And I feel like when you're making a bottom pick like this with so much upside, and a VWAP or trace will give you about $8 to $10 on the trade, that's not a place where you slide your stop up $1 to get cute. Try to make sure you keep that winning trade on. We've already taken 250. If the second half of this trade wants to lose 250 and I'm flat, that's worth it for the home run here. And if we have the bottom, why not make sure you capitalize on that and get the bigger winner when you have that trade on? So that's what I'm going to do with Netflix. There's no sliding of my stop. We're still going to give it to the low.
Yeah, I just tweeted out this Moderna trade. Yeah, this is what we're talking about all day long. Okay, work breaks here. Did it break? Okay, through $27. So not a clean break there. Didn't go. It only went to 09. We got long small, 27.05. So yeah, this one, I'm not going to give it too much lower than this little wick down here, 26.70. Do not like that break. Thought we would have break 27 and keep going up. Not nervous about it at all, but our day's huge. I mean, we could afford to lose. This stock could probably go to $1 here and we'll still be fine. 26.60 on the low side here. We're going to see if we can't take that one out. Otherwise, we're going to hold slack. Work to the long side. Moderna to the long side. Two longs right now. Just giving you guys this out. 26.65 or so if slack doesn't want to go. What's up, Bren?
We're talking about NVAX a little bit earlier, guys. Novavax didn't find anything significant in the way of news. Still got absolutely crushed there. You can see monster volume spike came in that pushed this thing all the way down to 20. We're bouncing back up to that that prior support area around 21. So might be a spot to re-enter on the downside. Also, UCO following oil here, guys. We were talking about 22.50 up in this area. That let go. We're all the way down to 21.50 now as crude approaches $14, guys.
$14, and this is what we have to talk about. You play what's going to be, in play and what's going to be a big time mover. Yet on the day, I look across the board and outside of one in and out on Oxy for a quick hit, I haven't touched anything in the energy space. It's just basically been hopping around. And when you get the tech wreck that got put on here, you look at the NASDAQ falling to the downside, you just had to jump ship. And it was over to IBM for some wins. It's over to Netflix for the bottom pick. You just got to roll with the punches here. And as much as I came in, sat down, wanting to be trading some USO or some Oxy or whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. You find the wins wherever they happen to be. If they're going to be in tech, that's fine. If they're going to be in small cap, I don't care. A winner is a winner. Like I said, no sliding of this stop. All we have on is Netflix to the long side. And I mentioned to you guys about Tiffany. If you wanted that one long, you had all kinds of chance to get it. It just keeps bouncing off our target range and giving you free wins. If the market does another leg to the downside, the only adjustment I would make in Tiffany is maybe don't buy it at 128.50. Wait for about 128.25. Let's say evens, and that'll be a good look.
Yeah, hopefully Valerie just didn't die there. I heard her drop her mic pack there. Oh, she's fine. She'll be on the screen soon with our European recap, so that's all good. We do have our big guest coming up. I just tweeted it out. Check that out from NYSE. Charlie and Timothy coming, big time views here coming, hopefully 11:35 right now on the forefront. So we are coming up in 15 minutes with those guests. Very excited. Okay, Moderna there. It comes right back down. So we go bang there for 80 cents. $1.50 or so on that top. We let it go to 48. It doesn't fail there. It does fail there. And then we get back out once again, not letting it break through 46.50. So that right there, back-to-back jacks and a nice little win for Moderna for yours truly right now. Netflix, still great trade. I wish I was over there on that. I'm going to check out Square as well. But all the stocks moving to the bottom here as we are getting close once again. We actually are at the lows of the day right now on the ES. But a good time now to check in with Valerie to see what happened over there in Europe.
Hey guys, welcome to the European closed. Well, Europe closed in the negative territory today. Britain is down 2.58%. Germany is down 3.72%. France is down 3.48%. Spain is down 2.6%. And Italy is down 3.02%. Well, Europe is closed negative. And that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow with Europe. Back to guys.
Thank you very much, sir. You guys are asking about that VXRT, and I just don't necessarily love this one, so I'm going to stay away from it. It does look like it would be a setup if it broke VWAP and got past that 320 mark that it couldn't do before. But I see what looks like a retracement trend, and that's been hanging out. It just failed at VWAP. It's just not going to be a long for me. I don't know how to say it, guys. I know if you're looking at it, that's fine. I don't like it to the long side. I did try it once and had a hit. We're going to step away from that one and maybe even look at a short if it tests VWAP and fails again. So that would be my idea on that name. I am going to jump back over to TRNX. You are seeing it now level out between 28 and 29. So as much as I'm hanging on because we've taken profit on 70% of it, again, Grace, you were looking at this stock. If you haven't taken profits and you can take what would be about a 5% return here in front of 28, assuming you're 30 short, you got to at least look at that idea. If it flushes, you're probably going to get that 26, but it's got to break that bid first, and it hasn't happened yet. Brendan, what do you got?
I just found Chewy here, guys, down about 5% on the day. A nice washout through 43.50 off the open there. It's been consolidating around 42. A little bit of a negative note from a couple of analysts on this name, just saying the optimism kind of outweighing the performance in this name so far. So 5% to the downside. Negative market, I know, but this one kind of bouncing at the moment, guys.
You know, I think it's a lot of these stocks today, like Square and whatnot, are all getting hammered. Some of these like high flyers, and that would count as one there. Okay, I see you, Sammy. Let's go to USO. Okay, USO, look, when you're seeing huge size here, each one of these considered is 100 shares, but because this is so traded heavily, obviously by algos and whatnot, you are going to see a lot of these sub 100 share prints and a lot of big prints as well. So watch out for this name coming down, USO. And guess the volume, guys, 365 million shares today on USO. So yes, definitely a lot of money to be made here. Check out some of these midpoints. Just keep trading this name as it keeps heading southbound here. We traded off view up. I wish I would have saw this, Sammy. For me right now, it's probably a no-go until we get to 285 or so. But the CLM contract, check this out, guys. CLM20, yeah, I hear Brendan in the background with some wow. Here it is, guys. Big time crushed down now. This is probably why USO is saying, see ya. We're down to 1350 and still going here on CLM20. This is, I believe it's the June contract, down now 33%. We know what happened to May. That went negative. Not even sure what the price of that one is. That's K20, right? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can see that one expiring today. Do we have a negative sign beside this? We're positive. So it's $5. Oh yeah, here it is. $5 right now on CL. Went down as low as an embarrassing minus $39 yesterday. But right here, down goes oil. So as oil's going to go down, I think it's a look at XOM, which is one of my #1 stocks today. It's great that we're having the guys on from the NYSE because so many of these names traded over there on the NYSE are holding up okay. I mean, XOM 0.92% on the downside. I know these guys are going to talk about market structure, but XOM, great little stock to trade here for me today. Look at this out. We didn't take the ultimate out up here, but XOM one long, cashed in, one of my top stocks here. So let's keep trading oil, guys. XOM on this break, 40.70, looks pretty juicy.
And one thing to consider, guys, and I just did it myself, when you use stop orders to cover your trades, so you want to make sure you lock in profits or you just want to limit your loss on a trade. When you trade, and I'm looking at myself here over 10 symbols today, you're going to have a lot of stops that you put in there. And if you're up on the day, it means you took your take profits and your downside stops didn't hit. So I'm always cleaning those up. You don't want to trigger into a position that you didn't want. That's a disaster waiting to happen. However, this is the reason I'm bringing this up. One rule of thumb that I have, and I know Sean follows this, and almost every trader I know, if you get into a position that you did not desire to have, just get out right away. You pay the spread, you take a small hit. Don't sit there trying to turn it into a winner if you didn't want it in the first place. That was one of my biggest rules of thumb. It's happened to me live on the show here, and you just got to bite the bullet and show you guys the loss when I'm paying the spread like a chump. It hasn't happened today as we clean them up. I'm going to adjust what I'm doing on Netflix. I don't want to slide my stop here, but I can't ignore 83.50 on the NASDAQ. If we make some fresh lows, I'm still in the money on Netflix and can take it out. I'll probably trim it off. We already took 250 on the first half of that trade. Fresh lows on the NASDAQ is not a reason to hang on and beat a dead horse here with this trade. But we are still in the money at $1.30. We're looking for a move back up to 435 shy of VWAP. That'd be fantastic. But if 83.50 can't hold, see you later. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, guys. You got to have structured trades. And if your trades are structured, then it makes them so much easier because then you have your ins and your outs, guys. Brendan has something. What's up?
Just talking about these tankers, guys. TK here in New York, back to the upside. We're back to an interesting spot. 440 up to 450 was support on the way down this morning. So nice retracement back into these levels. Also the high, it looks like, right at the end of the day yesterday. So TK on the move once again, guys.
Brendan, giving us too many things to look at. I have too many symbols that I've traded today. It's absolutely insane. Actually, Sean, before we get to the guest, you did forget to do something. It's been a very active day, obviously. So, you know, these guys need to guess how many trades you've made. This is the first time where I actually feel like I couldn't make an accurate guess, and usually I'm within 10% because I've been, you know, sort of sitting next to you for a while. So it's easy for me to pick, but it's been so active that I have no idea. So let's get those guesses in.
Yeah, guys, so what Neil's asking for is how many fills have I taken? So although you have on XOM, this is one long, but look how many outs I have. There's like 15 outs or something like that. And then you have a stock maybe like Tesla here where we really just take two trades, short here 705, short here 702, and then cash in here. So that would actually be 4 fills there. So if you guys can guess, the winner gets not this, but maybe you get your first option to buy eventually a Trader TV. Let me get my water bottle here. Trader TV Live. Coffee cup, and soon to be sold Trader TV Live merch coming for you guys. So if anyone can guess how many fills, great look there, Neil. One thing we didn't look at though yet, you looked at it this morning. Why don't we call it up again here? At Day Trade the World, we do actually have a page called Tip here where we can compare our profits. So you click on that one and you go through it all right here. You can see these are top traders yesterday at Day Trade the World. 43,000 from NYSE American here, LSE 36,000. And we do have our big guest coming up here. Look what we took. One trader yesterday, 29,000 on the NYSE. I actually had a pretty sweet KO trade yesterday, if I can call this up here, Coke came as a big sell imbalance on the NYSE yesterday at 4 o'clock. And if you guys can come here, look what Coke did yesterday. This is 350, 1550 here PM. So when the NYSE imbalances come out, guys, look what happened to Coke. It was a big sell yesterday. So I hammered that one short. It doesn't show my trades on it because it was yesterday. But we were short around here, 47.21, and covered down here somewhere in the 50s, guys, before you get a big actionable event here on the close with a big short. So you're able to take those trades as well. But Coke today was a destruction for me. If we go forward here, you can see right off the open, Coke nicely downside here to the downside. But let me see some of these guesses. 420, haha, good guess there for you there.
Day late.
I'll hit this for you right there. 85, no, that's not going to be right. 167. Okay, so the winner today, actually, guys, we didn't do too many trades, but it's 128 trades. So I got to shout out to Zach Adams here, guys. Only 128 fills for me today when we are normally around 170.
That actually makes sense. You know why? Because when you have the trend right to the downside, it's not like you're actively sitting there. You have the winners on, you're letting it ride a little bit more, and then those taking a few more scalps. So that actually makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. And we were talking about when you're with the trend, and we get a slide like that, hang on to those shorts. If you had longs when it happened, hopefully took those off early like we were talking about.
The thing is, guys, I'm up double what I was up yesterday. So less fills, but double the money. So it just matters on how you trade your trades, how you hold them in the share sizes that you use. The more confident we get, the more shares we ramp up. My wife's sending me pictures. It's crazy hailing outside right now in Toronto. So if you guys are around, I don't know if you can see this on that. Nah, that's not a very good picture. Let me show you. Yeah, here, look, this is my porch right now that you just sent to me. This is hail. So you can see here, yeah, crazy, eh? Hail happening, the little, look at the size of these things, wow.
That's no joke.
Hail coming down. Get the kids inside. Hide your kids, hide your wife. It's hailing in Toronto, guys.
Yeah, I mean, no lie there. We're gonna have our guests coming through, and look, they're heavy hitters. Look, where else are you gonna get guests coming live from the floor on a day where I'm basically sitting here watching the futures crap 250 handles on the NASDAQ in a very, very clean move. The ES very similar, down 3%. You are seeing a lot of names in New York hold up pretty well. I'll give you one of them because I've sort of been beating this horse off of the open, talking about the long opportunity in TIFF. Gave you that range of 128 to 128.50. You're reloading in that price range. I think you can get even better if we flush further. But every time it bounces above VWAP here, above that 128.80 mark, I'm just taking some shares off. So I'm maintaining a core position of at least, I want to say, a quarter to 40%, so I can load back up, but then hopefully get a home run past 129. But otherwise, just getting out. You're getting 30, 40, 50 cent wins, whatever it might be, hanging on for 50 cents to $1 more or more, and hopefully even getting flushes to give you better prices. And that's what you can do. In this market, you're not going to sit around rebate trading any kind of a buyout deal, but what you can do is watch for something which is overextended and structurally and fundamentally should be giving you some good ins. If you pay attention to the key price levels and the action intraday, you can find these buyers, and there's been one on Tiffany in that range for weeks now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that buyout. You guys can look at that LVMH taking over Tiffany. So, yeah, we're getting really close, guys. About 2 minutes. Check my Twitter. Follow me. I've been tweeting it out. Great to have our guests coming on live right now, but we are getting ready for Valeria. I just did have their little picture up there. We can call it up here. We're talking it all time. Timothy and Charles coming, Director of Institutional Equities and Trading Floor Operations as well, coming on right now at 11:50. So we're really proud to have those guys on. Valeria, what you got for us?
Hey guys, hopefully your trading day is going very well, and hopefully we're doing it even better. Guys, we need just around 20 more likes to reach 400. It's the biggest amount of likes we ever reach, and please, we think we're doing better with each day, so we really deserve that.
Also subscribe, huh?
And of course, subscribe for our channel. Our show is very close to the end, but we're back tomorrow, and we're live every day. So subscribe, you don't want to miss anything. And again, please hit more likes. As soon as we reach 400, I hit fireworks for you. Back to traders.
So I'm going to tweet something out here, and I'll tweet it out in a second, talking about TRNX. And the fact that we've had some fantastic trades and we traded a lot of symbols here, that's not an excuse for getting sloppy on TRNX. And I find myself on the way back to VWAP still hanging on to 35% or a third of our position here. it's really not acceptable, because you get this nice little bottom where we were taking shares out for a 10% return, and then you get this obvious range being made higher at the same price point that it was on the way down, 28 to 29. That's an obvious exit point. Why are you throwing away profits, not taking some out at that little bottom? Should be doing it. You save yourself a bunch of money. Sometimes when you take a winner, it isn't necessarily a good thing, because you know you should have done better by following your own rules. I didn't do that myself. Should have been at least a penny better on that TRNX. You get caught up trading some of these names, and when you go back and forth from a penny stock to Netflix to IBM to Tiffany, which is a buyout, sometimes you can lose sight of how you should be executing your strategy. That can be overextending yourself, which at times I'm going to be doing when I'm trading 10 symbols in a day. But you want to compartmentalize your different strategies and stick to your plan. I want to show you how we didn't do that here despite the win.
Good look there. Wow, Roku continuing its fall down here. I just want to check back in mRNA, guys. Yeah, you know, I probably got way too not scared or anything, but I mean, I just didn't want this to fall back down. Our day was already pretty huge, and sometimes I do this, which is a mistake. But we take this long here, guys. 45. This is Moderna. You know, some vaccine-related news. Here we go, guys. You can see 45.84 in here, out, all the way. But this is that target area that I gave you guys, 49. We're right there right now. So I feel like, although it was a nice little winner, we'll hit the cowbell for the winner. I am going to fall in a little bit of a hole there and flush ourselves down, because although we're not going to make every stock perfect, this one I had it and we dropped it. So a little bit of a mistake happening right there. But we are getting ready, guys. I hope we can throw relatively soon as time is ticking on here. 11:51. We are ready, getting that note now. So let's throw over to Brendan for our guest of the day.
Hey guys, so happy to have with us today Tim Riley, Senior Director of Institutional Equities, and Charlie Cassis, Director of Trading Floor Operations from the New York Stock Exchange. Obviously, a lot has happened over the past weeks and even month and a half as far as the coronavirus is concerned. I want to talk to the guys about some of the operational challenges that have been created because of the outbreak and because of social distancing and sending a lot of people home to work, as the guys are joining me from home remotely today. So happy to have you both on with us today, guys. We appreciate your time. Tim, I'll come to you first. Tell us a little bit about what kind of went into that move of going to all electronic trading on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Obviously, you know, a big undertaking to say the least.
Well, first of all, Brandon, thank you for having us here. The New York Stock Exchange is proud to represent and speak to your audience. These are absolutely crazy times. I wish we were introduced with a cowbell for a positive trade rather than a mistake. So
make that happen.
In any case, listen, the gold standard of trading, of exchange trading, is a fully operational New York Stock Exchange with the intersection of our direct market makers, our NYSE floor brokers, and really a robust electronic order book, which investors and issuers interact with and utilize every day. We worked exceptionally hard. Charlie Cassis was on with me and the team, as well as our management team, to keep the floor open as long as possible. That became much more complicated as the entire kind of global environment became a little bit more dangerous, and New York City itself became a bit of a more difficult place to operate. We, for years, have worked very closely with the brokers and banks that utilize the New York Stock Exchange every day, and our issuers, to have a smooth transition to a business continuity plan that allowed our DMMs, our designated market makers, to operate and manage the stocks remotely, and then to utilize our electronic platform to continue to trade and continue to support our stocks real time with full accessibility. In fact, we've had an IPO, we've had a number of follow-ons, including the most recent Darden restaurant, which was about 8 million shares, as we continue to be the center of opportunity for raising capital through equity products. So it's been a difficult process, but people have focused, it's worked smoothly, and the performance numbers have been really encouraging.
And as everyone's starting to kind of focus towards maybe some sort of progress in this whole ordeal and getting back to something that resembles normal, maybe talk a little bit about what it's going to take then to kind of bring everything back to the floor and get everything back as far as operational is concerned.
Sure. Well, let me just start by saying we are completely committed to the floor reopening. This is a temporary situation. Again, as I said before, stocks trade, stock exchange, our spreads are tighter. Our liquidity at the touch is second to none in U.S. equities. So we really are motivated and working with regulators and working with state, local, and federal authorities to get to a place where we can reopen and operate full scale for our issuers, investors, and the traders that utilize our facilities every day and our exchange. But that said, this is a difficult time, and everything from mass transit to stay-at-home rules, and really the ability to deliver an environment that is safe, that is protected, and that isn't in a way that is overly taxing to any of the local resources that are so important to our frontliners who are fighting the fight for the U.S. every day, and all those things are under consideration. I will say we've seen extraordinary cooperation from the regulators, from the federal, state, and local government through this process. They were intensely supportive and constructive when we were open through the majority of March, and equally so, they have been incredibly cooperative and strategic as we've operated under this temporary all electronic model. But we will be back, and hopefully sooner rather than later. And like everybody, the current environment is not where we want to be, but we're doing everything we can to make it a real positive for our issuers and investors.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, an unprecedented time. I mean, we wish you guys, the best of luck as far as from an operational standpoint goes, getting everybody safely back into place and working once again. We'll shift gears here a little bit. Charles, I'll come to you. I want to talk a little bit about the opening and closing auctions. Obviously, a lot of traders that we talk to a lot on a daily basis rely on those mechanisms as far as liquidity is concerned, getting out of positions at the end of the day, and vice versa, getting into possible positions at the beginning of the day. Let's talk just first off from a structure standpoint. I'm sure there's been challenges as well, that this electronic move has created when it comes to the auctions. Maybe talk a little bit about, from a structure standpoint, how those are facilitated on a daily basis.
Sure. I just want to reiterate what Tim said, fully committed to reopening the floor when it's safe to do so. Our floor model with the combination of both the DMM and the floor brokers at the point of sale really results in lower volatility, tighter spreads, and just better overall execution quality. But while we don't currently have this floor presence, I think it's key to note, and it's key for the trading community to know, that we still have a large portion of our model that's still intact. And although operating remotely, our DMMs are engaged. They're still connecting on a daily basis. They still have two-sided regulatory obligations, which they're maintaining, and also depth and continuity. But a key factor is the auction process. They're still facilitating the auctions, and they're doing an amazing job in doing so. Actually opening and closing 99% of our opening and closing auctions, which is important. It's also worth noting, New York in general has the ability to execute more complex transactions, as Tim had alluded to earlier, IPOs and secondary offerings. The first week of our closure, we actually IPO'd a small closed-end fund called River North Flexible. And then recently this morning, we had Darden Restaurants secondary offering. And in both events, both the issuers, the capital markets team with the underwriters, and ourselves were happy with both the process and the pricing.
I want to talk a little bit about, I want to mention some of the IPOs. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up the remainder of the year here as well. But first off, when it comes to the volatility, increased volume, obviously, in this huge sell-off that we've had in equities over the past month and a half, maybe talk a little bit about some of the volumes that were available in the auctions because of that volatility. Did you see an increase, and how did the volatility overall affect them?
So, it's interesting. One of the things that's notable is if you go back to 2019, closing auction, NAVs, reference price for derivative products, all kinds of different index benchmarks, et cetera, dependent on the accuracy and the quality of that closing auction. And obviously, traders more and more use it as a liquidity event. 2019, for New York Stock Exchange listed securities, over 8% of the intraday volume, of the full day volume, was trading on our auction. As volatility increased, intraday trading expanded, we saw that dip to about 6 or 7%. One of the things that is really important about an auction is how it merges and meshes with continuous market pricing. So what we feel is very important is that combination of technology, supply and demand management, and then finally the insight and oversight of the direct market maker really brings pricing accuracy to that opening closing auction. So that chart you were just looking at before was showing really the consistency in aftermarket pricing on the open and pre-market pricing going into the closing auction. And what you want to see is some continuity in price. You don't want to see this rapid rip on the closing auction that is not connected to where the kind of supply and demand components of continuous markets are. On the close, we've seen a smaller closing auction since we've gone all electronic. And some of that is when you remove the input, the insight, and the really kind of liquidity creation that the floor brokerage community creates going into the auction every day. That's really kind of diminished some of the trading. And I think one of your traders earlier was looking at kind of imbalance feeds and some of the effects they have. If you do any homework coming out of this call, I would suggest traders find a way to have a relationship with an NYSE floor broker when we're reopening. The flexibility and the access and the insight around those closing imbalances and positioning around those auction events is really essential and very strategic. At the open, it's interesting. The opening print has been somewhat unaffected from a size point of view, whether it's kind of pre-market floor closure or post-floor closure. The opening print is driven by retail. There's certainly an international component to it. We start receiving orders at the New York Stock Exchange at 6:30 a.m. every day. And so what you find is a lot of kind of appetites, whether they're kind of VWAP orders that will kick off with an opening print that are submitted overnight, or just kind of clean up cash management orders that are set on that opening. So there's a lot of diversity to that opening print in a way that is really important how you kind of price that as you move into continuous markets. So, having the ability to kind of participate in that opening print and then really in the aftermarket immediately following that opening print is a really strategic way to kind of operate, particularly in the kind of less actively traded names. So really kind of taking advantage of those liquidity events is something we've seen in volatile markets and in less volatile markets. But one notable difference is if you have more intraday trading, if you have more options trading, which we've seen record levels of options activity on the New York Stock Exchange options markets, ARCA, and we've seen this activity sustain. It peaked in late February and early March, but it really, this month it's been tremendous. So we're seeing activity all day intraday as the closing auction has gotten a little bit smaller without the floor brokers and with this intraday volatility changing behavior.
From a structure standpoint, a lot of stocks we've been noticing this volatility halts that have been happening as well. We'll shift gears a little bit here. Again, guys,
Sure.
Volatility halts have been almost a daily occurrence throughout both the move down and even on the way back up that we've seen in the overall market. Maybe talk a little bit about the mechanics around that and how those not executions, but the actual halting of the trading works when it comes to a volatility halt.
So Charlie might have to actually, if we go too long, might have to hop off the call and actually go handle this for the changes. The market's not really cooperating today. Well, we had 4 market-wide circuit breakers in the month of March, which was really, really notable. And appropriately coming out of it, you can learn a lot from kind of what happens in difficult situations as you kind of look back. And I'm sure we'll take a strong look at the market-wide circuit breakers and how those can be improved. But to a certain degree, they did their job. They slowed things down, allowed kind of natural book building to occur, and brought some we'll just say some logic to the velocity of what market moves we were seeing in 3 out of the 4 cases, definitely. What you're also referring to, though, is these limit up, limit down closures. So it's important they're called limit up, limit down, not just limit down, meaning that in a 5-minute window, the velocity of a stock price move can close down a stock. And when that happens, I'm going to hand it back to Charlie and talk about how we handle the reopening of a limit up, limit down closure on a single stock, because that's a little bit of a different experience than a market-wide event where you basically have a traditional market opening coming out of a market-wide event. Charlie, I'll kick that to you.
Yeah, right. So as Tim had noted, when a stock moves a certain percentage too quickly, the idea is, all right, let's take a breath, pause trading, put some logic to the move, wait 5 minutes. And if we had a trading floor present, the physical DMMs would be sending out what we refer to as indications, to the SIP, and that would be providing full transparency, to the public and where this symbol could potentially open. Unfortunately, we don't have that in this current state, but after 5 minutes, we still have the DMMs facilitating those auctions as they would currently on the floor. So same process, just without the indication. So cooler heads prevail, symbol waits a 5-minute pause, and then reopens for continuous trading.
It's been interesting.
I would say,
sure.
Go ahead, Brennan.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things that's frustrated people in the limit up, limit down situations is sequential closes. So, one of the things we find with our model with the designated market maker, it allows for kind of human judgment to come in and get the right price to reopen that stock. I mean, you don't have the right price, and it's kind of a black box, uninformed kind of process that reopens a stock. Sometimes it doesn't have it at the right price, and you have these kind of sequential limit up, limit downs that can occur. And certainly that we've heard from a lot of issuers as well as in traders that those sequential limit up, limit downs are especially frustrating in this environment, because I'm sure all of your audience, they want to be agile, they want to have access to markets, and it's something that we put a lot of importance on. So it's not just the single limit up, limit down, it's the sequential that can really kind of tie people up.
As day traders, we live and breathe off volatility, so this becomes a part of the daily repertoire, but it's good to get a little bit of background information and on the mechanic side of how things work. To wrap things up here, guys, you mentioned Darden Restaurants already. Let's talk a little bit about the IPO calendar coming up for the remainder of the year. Obviously, under the current state of affairs, it's creating some challenges, to say the least. But maybe talk a little bit about the IPO forecast for the remainder of 2020.
Well, we'll take that as a broader. I'm going to take your question and make it broader, just capital markets in general, because obviously this environment has not been a particularly active one for the IPO calendar. We expect as things settle down, you already see kind of where volatilities come from the March peaks, and we expect that to come back. Our pipeline has been extraordinary coming into this environment, and many of those companies will come back to market at the appropriate time. We're working really closely with them to advise them through this process, and our existing companies, the issuers that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, they're also looking up and down the cap structure in order to find the place where they can raise money, raise funds if necessary. We've seen that with Carnival, we've seen that with Darden. I think if markets stabilize, and let's kind of put the oil difficulties yesterday and today in a box, and kind of think about maybe what capital markets could be like a week, 2 weeks from now, as in some ways we have stabilized. And that could be a place where you see the velocity of follow-on offerings increase, again, as a strategic tool to raise capital and navigate these conditions. We believe that the IPO market will come back robust. It will come back essential, as just a core tool in the development of a company and really bringing the public to the opportunity to be investors and sharing the upside and sharing the opportunity around some of these fantastic companies that come to the New York Stock Exchange to bring their companies public.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We appreciate your time today. We won't take up any more of it at this point. Best of luck, in the coming weeks. Most importantly, from all of us here, obviously stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we can touch base again soon and have another chat once everything is back to normal.
We look forward to it, and good luck to all you guys, and hang in there the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Stay healthy.
There you go, guys. Big thanks to Charles Cachese and Tim Riley from the New York Stock Exchange. A little bit of insight from an operational standpoint, how things function down on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange and how they've had to kind of adjust because of everything that is going on at this point. Let's go back to the guys.
In the chat there for people to listen up, talking about liquidity events and talking about that open. There are certainly some names, and I know Philip Morris was one today, and you're going to find some of these other names that we talk about that are on our list that might have lower pre-market volume, and you want an opening position, and maybe you want to have a little bit more size, some confidence in the price you get. That's what the auction is going to be for, and this is why Sean brings it up every single morning, looking at that imbalance locator and where that opening price is going to be. Understanding structure is an important part of trading. You can't do without it. I just took off the last of my TRNX, so I found myself basically flat except for that Tiffany trade. We did try to bottom pick a Netflix. We didn't hang on there long enough, so winning trade just should have been a heck of a lot bigger, as it's only $2 away from our ultimate target there and would have been that $8 winner. Sean, do you have anything left on?
Yeah, I have two things left on. Microsoft I just took right now through 168, so we're going to watch this one run upside, hopefully, and then we have our Slack back on right here. So a bunch of longs off these levels, not a bunch, too. Slack and Microsoft. As here goes Microsoft, right into the money, a quick 10 plus pennies. We'll take some out for a quarter, but here we go. Can we have another winner as we end the show? Looks like it, long Microsoft 168.10. We'll be getting out of this one shortly. Hopefully, there it is. A quick little profit there, quick little 20-cent slap shot winner. Let's see the earnings if we can, Brendan.
Yeah, let's just jump right into things here, guys. Big names on this board, to say the least, for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Netflix, so we're looking at it today. Try that bottom pick on. Obviously, it's going to be huge. AT&T should be interesting as well. Look, we talk about the energy space, certainly, and that's going to be on the front of our mind, even if we don't have massive earnings there. I think that's a Snapchat as well.
Yeah, I just hit the Snapchat button right there. That's the one I'll be looking at. As Microsoft, I mean, I don't know what else to say here, guys, but bang! How about that? Another winner right now for Microsoft. So we hit the catapult there. A quick 35-40 cent winner happening right now on Microsoft. And yeah, ho-hum, just another 30-cent winner possibly here on work. And we're going to see that one go. Let's see how high Microsoft can go. Maybe we get to VWAP, but we're already out of 20% of that trade there for a 30-cent winner. We're just piling on, and this is what it's been like today. Give me the money, and it's just dropping down through. So here's another winner for you modern investors. I know you like to take the trades that I have. If you have been today, check the numbers before. I'm going to drop the scoreboard starting tomorrow. You see them all below, but it's been a monster day. Valeria, hit us.
Yeah.
Dear viewers, thank you very much for being with us today, for all of your likes, comments, and questions. We see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Please subscribe for our channel so you receive notifications when we are back. And of course, guys, I sent you links for Neil's, Sean's, and Brandon's Twitters on chat. They keep trading after 12 as well, so follow them and check that out. And as usual, I'm saying what national day is today, and today is the National Tea Day. What's your favorite tea, guys? I prefer green one.
I like Earl Grey, and I like it hot. And if you know where that's from, pop it into the chat. But that's definitely my favorite. I only really have tea on the weekend sometimes. More of a coffee guy when we're working. Brendan, what about you?
I'm actually not a tea guy. Some herbal teas maybe sometimes, but I'm not a huge tea guy, no.
Pass. Yeah, no, I like orange pico there.
I like coffee.
Yeah, I like coffee too. The same kind of teas. Chamomile, maybe for my throat. But been an absolute, English breakfast. Okay, Manika,
there you
I
go.
see you there. Good little look.
Classic.
Okay, or some lemon, but green. Actually, I'm going to go with Valeria on this one. I'm going to go with green. Okay, great show here. Microsoft, guys, 50-cent winner right now. So even though the show's over, you still get to see this awful avatar dancing thing as we're going. A nice little 50-cent winner on this one and 20 cents on work. The fun doesn't stop. Find me on Twitter, guys. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon for sure as we just keep on trading here, and this market don't sleep, so don't forget about that.
Yeah, Jiwon, we'll try out some Chinese tea. Why not? It's very relaxing after a hectic day. Could be worth it to calm the nerves there, or you get your mind in the right order so you can review those trades, winners and losers. You can always learn something, especially on a day like today with market moves and lots of profitability. So we had a lot of fun doing this today. A big shout out to our guests from the NYSE. Fantastic job. I really hope you guys paid attention. If you didn't, go back and look at it. It's a lot of information that you can benefit from. For the entire team here down the line, Valeria doing a fantastic job on the chat. Sean Katina, as always. Our good friend Brendan Wickens, give us a wave there. You're on camera, my friend. And for myself, Neil Roberts, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is tradertv.live. We'll see you tomorrow.